Yes, I, a special one with the CEO stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right at the south and then charges on the wheel. To get your information, to the food, to be fine. Spoon, 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 spoon. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you and know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravian, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Bonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? It's what you got to TV. It's what you got to TV. Yes, I, a special one from the CEO stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right at the south and then charges on the wheel.
Okay, good evening. A pleasant welcome to yet another very, very fascinating edition of the Spoon Talk right there on Spoon 107.5. The show is also live on Fabric 101.1 and of course on our various social media platforms: Spoon TV Live, Fabric TV Live, Super TV Live, and our YouTube channel. So wherever you are and whatever you are doing, welcome to it. It's another night of thunderstorm discussion here. So want to listen along or view along, because as usual the show promises to be very, very, very interesting. So first off, we take calls. James, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Yekesi. How do you do?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, come on me, your brother. At least I have food to eat.
Yeah. Okay, so we just like to apologize to our audience, our listeners, our viewers, for coming in late, a little late tonight. I would say we had some technical issues that were being settled here, but it's all set now, and it's good to be on your radio this evening. Yeah. So first off, we take calls. Anything, James?
Basically, there's nothing. We already talked about it. I don't know if you talk about it. I just found out. Has to do with has to do with the court. Tomorrow, the court will be coming out with the ruling to establish if there is a case or not. So we have nothing to say. That is what the court said. So nothing major to say. We look up to the court tomorrow.
Okay, sure. So then, in the meantime, between time, we take a few calls before the CEO and the rest of the panelists can join in. So you can call us on 07777 07777 0551075. Those are the numbers to put you through. You can call us and speak your minds. What have you got to say about some of the trending national issues in the country? Probably there are some issues going on within your various communities that you want the public to know about. So all you need to do is to just dial the hotlines 07777 Call and have your say on this Thursday evening. Let's go to the lines and talk to the very first caller here. Good evening, your name and where you join us from. Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you join us from.
Yeah, my name is Made Lumer. I do join you from the Telecom Bona Farm there.
Okay, Lomez, it's good to have you on this evening.
Thank you for your platform always. And I want to ask the presidency of the country whether President Boaka was not in Liberia when Samuel Kayando was governing this country. And I want to clearly tell him what all Samuel Kayando did in this country that led to his death is what he's doing in this government. All the count that they used against President Doe at the time and kill him is what Boaka is doing right now.
What are some of those?
He need to be cautious.
What are some of those you're talking about?
In humanity.
Hello?
And govern this country other than that.
Hello?
He will meet
Hello?
up.
Okay, let's talk to another person. Good evening, your name and where you join us from.
Hello?
Hello, let's hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, my name is Teresa. I call continue today.
Okay, ma'am, Teresa, how are you?
And I'm fine.
What happened to you?
Papa, all my heart leaking and call anybody that listening to me, let it please help me. Me and my children, we info. We info all my heart leaking. I widow my people are begging you, please help me. Anybody that listening to me, you know, that they help me, let me post me on the side and leaking. When in the theater, the whole water can roll down. And they play me and my children. We info my people are begging you.
Thank you.
That they help me.
Thank you. So you just want to call your number, and you're gonna be the only person we do this for. You just want to call your number so that anybody listening can help you if they want. Yeah.
My number is 0775.
Okay.
My number is 075. You're calling for me now.
Yeah, we're listening.
89
0775 89, yeah.
28 15
89 28 15 0775, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We can set up to our day before we.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the information is gone. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from.
My name is Patos Bay, call you from Bakape Junction.
Okay, go ahead.
Many times I listen to our brothers on the opposite side where they talk about the police RG is not in accordance with the law. But when they saw Mo Ali and other people from the United Parties were put into jail, other people were put into jail, they were not on the other side. But when other people want to take measure against certain people, the group of their own kind will say they are is political. Nothing is political. So let us listen to the court ruling for tomorrow and see what come out of the ruling. If anything contrary to what the RG will say, it will not be certified. You say it's political, but many of our brothers are saying it's political. Nothing in Liberia will be free. Everything is political. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Danewali P from 540 Congotown.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, you know what on my issue is, what on my mind this evening is the NRO. The National something Random Registration.
Identification Registry.
Yes. You know, I believe that when we are born, we as Liberians, when you are being born, you are a citizen of this country. The government is supposed to give you paper. If I want to obtain paper, they're supposed to get all the paper. And it should be free because that's something that we bought. Our citizenship has not been bought. We were born in Liberia. We are citizens of this country. So give you a document that we have to travel with. It should be the responsibility of the government. Is that something to be selling? Is that something to sell? There's no people. The heart of revenue other than people in that kind of manner.
When you say the
Yekesi, you need to correct him.
Card, so what do you mean? Because I know there's a fee paid to get it.
He's saying it should be free.
You are paying something to get it.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it should be absolutely free of charge, right?
Free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because our citizenship we did not.
But the government has to generate revenue now.
Yeah, but that's not the only place. See the kinds of things that are going on in the country. That's the only area to get that revenue for.
Okay.
So nothing going on in the country. They get the revenue from the earth, where they get the revenue from the and then people are not benefiting. Now those are working government. Whatsoever.
You know, you can see.
Okay.
It shouldn't be so. Look at when we're talking about voting cards. We go and get voting cards without even paying our cents because they know that we are going to vote for them.
Okay.
Why are you paying our cents? But for us to be citizens of our own country, we should be able to buy it. Even when I talk about missing from you, you still go and will pay another money again. It's not fair to us.
Thank you.
I look at it to be
so we should not even be paying for visa.
That is allowed. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yekesi?
Yeah.
I'm saying, as per his reasoning, we should not be paying for our passport.
Yeah, I mean that's what he said.
The government should give us passport free.
Yeah, that's what he say essentially. Yeah, but let's take more calls. That's his opinion. 077771075 055101075. Let's talk to another person here. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for the show. My name is Paul N. Cooper. I call you from district number 13, Canada Strip.
Okay, Paul Cooper, let's hear you.
Yes, so what on my mind is the case currently ongoing with some lawmakers, including Fani Kufa, about the capital Anson case. Look, I listened to Yeke Kwaluba press conference today, and Yeke admitted to the recording that is just the introduction to many recordings and text messages that the government has as evidence. So my issue is, Fani Kufa knows this. He knows that recording is real. As well, they were saying it's an AR production. But now that Yeke is saying, yes, it was me that Abu Bana Kamara were insulting because we wanted to, we are told people that want to protect ourselves. Started judging how we can protect ourselves. So now he knows that the recording is real. What more evidence do he want the government to present? And for him to believe that he was the one who engineered the burning of that Capitol building. But the guy is deep, is dangerous. And I think the government will win this case, and Fanati and others will have to pay for the witness in the state. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Let's talk to another person here. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm John Skip Betty calling from the April community, and good evening to your listening audience.
Okay. Let's hear you.
Let me just say to President Walker, for all those that critique your government on a daily basis and that of your activity, they do not hate you. They are people in the right interest of this country. You should always look at them. Let them not be threatened once they come out to critique you by state security. And my next issue has to do with the War Crime Office, the War Crime Court Office. 5 to 6 months now, employees haven't been paid. President Boyka, like I said to people, establishing a War Crime Office was just another form of political showmanship by you. You cannot get lender men and women who are there to do a professional work. 5 to 6 months, you haven't paid them, and you say you are serious as to the issue of war crime or commit any country. No, President Boyka, we are telling you, you have to do the needful for this. We do not hate you. As you take on the mantle every day to critique your government, you have to hear us. Tell your people we do not hate you, but we are here to ensure that the right thing happens. Please pay those people. They are people, they are family people. You have to pay them. People cannot go 6 months, that 6 months, you cannot pay them. And people are asking what are doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Good evening, Yegasin. This is Winston Kobo and Attorney from Rana Kigali tonight.
Winston, I hear you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your show, Yekezi. One thing I can always ask myself is that the foundation that Liberia was built on is the problem that we are facing today. Every morning, if you wake up in the morning, you either hear that Capitol building is on fire, or you hear that, the police are beating this other group of people, or you hear that people protesting and all of that. You hear that no militia in jail. So my concern has been, while this country has been built on a principle where we only promote the negative image of the country, but we do not promote the good agenda of the country. Those things are scaring even Liberians who left the country to go to school in the outside world. Those things are scaring them to go back to offer service to their country. So I'm calling on all Liberians, regardless of those different things we are doing here. Jeans is in the diaspora. Jeans understand how things are happening in other countries. But the first and foremost thing that happening is that all prioritize the better image of this country outside there in order to attract investors, in order to attract all the Liberians who left the country and went to achieve higher education in foreign land. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Let's talk to this other person. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello, let's hear you out.
My name is Nathaniel from
Okay, Nathaniel, go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm then on my mind in recent time is just about the rainy season. Yeah, I'm kind of asking the government and the disaster management down to the EPA. Yesterday, I'm a motorcyclist. That rain that was falling yesterday, I decided to take a walk around the Taniko storage and the second. There's a construction going there in the sun. Maybe anything yesterday. All the people that are living behind there, you will see them standing up toward a wall that is built. All the people in the various houses in our water were standing over the foundation, and the water has entered into their houses. And a fellow told me that on a Thomas Farm, a factory up the waterway and a long time. So I'm asking the Ministry of Public Works, disaster management, to look into it that our people shouldn't suffer and they kind of struggle that in the waterway. Charlie asking to please try and see if they can continue some of this flood that will come in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person here. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Prince Baka. I join you from the Mexico District 5. Let me say good morning and good afternoon to those in the diaspora and hello to those who are in Liberia. My concern got to do with the case the Liberia National Police sent to the court, to the Supreme Court. They have finished doing their part. We, the citizens, we, the Liberians, we are looking up to the chief prosecuting lawyer of the government. We want a very serious, fast case that will be in a possible time. We don't want the case to be delayed because we want to know who burned our capital building. 14 years they were war fought in Liberia, bullet was flying here and there, the capital building was still standing. So those that burned our capital building we want to see now, bring to book. The surveillance, the chief prosecuting lawyer of the government don't have concrete evidence on these people. In must not waste the Liberian people time because we pay our taxes. They must not waste our time.
Okay.
So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. So if you just joined us, it's a reminder that you are listening to the Spoon Talk. And it's 10 minutes up until 9 o'clock. That's the initial time check here in Liberia. So this is the call-in segment, the Speak Your Mind segment, the segment that gives you the opportunity to call in and tell us what's on your minds. What are those burning issues you want to speak out on? Some of you probably want to speak to some of the trending issues in the country or issues unfolding in your communities. So this is now the platform for you. Call us 0777-1075 05101075. Let's take more calls. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening. Let's hear you.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Just as the previous caller was saying, Spoon got large coverage and many people listen to Spoon.
Okay.
So sometimes some of the corruption allegations that sometimes the show can come up with, and when they finally come up that it's not true, it is better for the show to come out and a lot of Liberian people, like for the situation at the city hall about John Siafa. Okay. And the report came out that the allegation wasn't true. Spoon flagged the corruption allegation that, he's corrupt. Now the funding has come out that it wasn't true. All the information wasn't true. So, and since then, the network has not come out to tell Liberian people that, this people came out with a research has been done. The funding has come out from the GSC that, it's not true. Everything they went through that it was a lie against him. So I think these things are also necessary. And then lastly, I want to talk about the issue of this party headquarters concerning the Denster family. Sometimes people are careful how they handle legal issues. Mr. Denster is that he wants them to vacate the party headquarters first before they can negotiate. And I think it's the right thing he's doing because if he mistakenly, because this is the only chance he have, I believe, if he mistakenly allow those people to leave to stay at that party headquarters and they gave you a little crumbs and where they'll be petting him and then just petting because they are crafting. And they did petting him and then God forbid he return by about 2029 or maybe 2050 or 2080, whatever time. At that time now, to pass to them now to negotiate about property will be difficult because they will hold property. You know how they have treated you from the past, so it is better they should vacate the property. Just sit down, you discuss. If you are not if I let them leave the place, that's their property. But I believe this is the best chance you have right now, Mr. Denster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Hello.
Hello, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Terry SD Cameroon body from Benjamin County.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, first I will say good evening to all Liberians and good morning to those in the diaspora. Yeah, but what I have to do with the quote-unquote the fire incident of the Chamber of Justice capital meeting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm already asking government to really stand strong within the fire issue. There's no guys who are being accused, but they don't have sufficient evidence on them. Let continue searching and those who did the act because this very better for a couple of years.
There is a feedback from your end.
Would I sit down there?
There is a feedback. You need to work on that feedback and call us back. Sorry. Let's talk to another person. Yeah. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Thank you ever so much. At least today, I'm happy to be on the Spoon Network tonight. My name is Benedict Wisse. I'm calling from Nimata Estate. Yeah, let me appreciate the CEO for always discussing those relevant issues that concern our country. But this is my talk tonight. Why is it Liberia will always be bitter? Every government will get problem with the government. Even the government trying the possible best, we get problem. Even though we the young stuff in the country, we need job, but you know how you just lies, create lies, and don't appreciate every small thing the government do, and then you want for the country to prosper. The country will not prosper, and when the country will not prosper, that we the young people will very feeding.
Okay.
Yes, so I asking all the young people to leave the too much political party thing, and let us pray that each government that will come will prioritize jobs that will help to benefit with the young people tonight, everything.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for calling. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Hello, it is Spoon TV.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm calling. There was a caller earlier on who was talking about the ID should be given free by the government.
Okay.
And one of your panelists said that it should also, the caller trying to say that also the government should issue free passports. You cannot compare passport to ID. Passport holders are for those who want to travel. So he cannot make that kind of comparison. But right, IDs should be given free to its citizens. We have a lot of mining companies and rubber plantations around here that the government can be able to generate taxes from. But not from, you have people in the rural areas that don't have no source of income. How will they be able to afford $5 to get an ID done?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
I'm getting a feedback. I don't know what I'm getting that feedback from, but we will, sort that out. But in the meantime,
Okay.
between time, call us on 0777 77 1075, 0555 101075. Let's take this call from this international line. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
1075 0555.
Hello, I'm getting a feedback from you. Hello, you there? Yeah, so you just want to shut down the monitor.
Yeah, sorry. I'm calling from Morocco.
Yeah, but I'm still getting
Hello,
feedback
I'm
from
there.
you.
Yeah. I call you already.
Okay,
I'm calling
let's
from
hear you
Morocco,
now.
Casablanca.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
calling from Morocco, Casablanca. Yeah. My name is Taylor Blian.
All right.
Yeah, so we're just talking on the ID, okay? I want the Liberian people to know that if we continue, if the government is going to get ID or free, okay? What would be the output or what would be the input of the government? What would be the resources of the government? Which country in the world giving ID or free? You see it? We have to contribute to our society. We have to contribute to the government in Liberia. So I think what we need to say, let us reduce the ID price for everybody to be able to get ID in Liberia. But we should not say they should get ID or free. You see it? I think they should reduce the ID price at all. Because that's part of the contribution to the government and then the development of the government. They'll be able to pay the citizens in the country. I hope you get me, okay?
Okay,
And
thank you.
also, I want to, the students coming around today because we were talking about having interview with how to call it. We want to send it out today with Zoe. So I'm always send around for now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. Yeah, let's talk to another person here. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yagazi. I remain the civil last boss of Peter McCall, and I joined from District now, most of the country, the proper. You know, Yagazi, I will borrow the word from Arce doing the show that you can lie to come to power, but you can't lie to govern the country. But United Party on the watch of President Bouaka continue to cajole the Liberian people, reckless. You know, you can't tell me say you tariff out of or commodity in this country. They not see the impact of that will be fair with the Liberian people. But you're telling me, President Bouaka is telling us that you take 25 cents for the for rice price. Then the US rice in district number 9, you guys see 204. Tell me, my boy not going to have, you know me now, my boy not going to pay. Them people telling me this about it. Because President Bola, you know, can get it anytime in circle in 12 finger. No, never be real sometimes when you leading a country or leading a people. Be true to them. But no continue no Jordan. Then the people starving will conquer. The few people pass around say, oh, the government is doing well, government is doing well. Let me ask what they are doing. Say President Bola, there's no any tangible President Bola report that road safety keep on where.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you on. So, folks, that does it for the recording of this show. Thanks to all of you who called in and made your contributions. We have Dr. Richardson and, of course, Dr. Brookley, who have joined us to kickstart the show. Dr. Richardson and Dr. Brookley, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Legacy, for holding it down. Thank you for all you do. My good friend, Doc Richardson, every time you're on the show, we feel a little better. So thanks for being there. Good day. Good to see you. I want to say welcome to Spoon Nation. Spoon Nation, welcome. Spoon is local, Spoon is national, and Spoon is global. So welcome. That means good morning to the people in the Far East. Good afternoon to Dr. Richardson there. Good evening to us here on the ground. So this is your shows, Spoon Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no talk like Spoon Talk. You hear what I just said? I said no talk like Spoon Talk. Nobody can talk like Spoon Talk, Doc. What you say? If you agree, you can say
I agree. They tried, but they can't make it.
Yeah, no talk like Spoon Talk. And so we're going to talk tonight. Let me just give you 3 reasons why Spoon Talk is special. First, we raise critical issues. Second, we try to be constructive. Third, we try to find solutions. So think about it. Critical, constructive, and solution so we can help our nation. And you can help us tonight like you do all the time. Yes, how you can do it. Just share the show. Like the CEO would say, share the show. That's all you got to do. So you don't need to talk about it, folks. You just need to be about it. Get your gadget and share the show. Now, my mother-in-law, Dr. Richardson, I don't know where she is tonight because she's a wealthy woman. She got plenty of properties all across America. But I can tell you exactly what she's doing now. She is on Spoon. So Mama, share the show tonight. Everybody share the show. Let's engage. Thank you, Liberia. Thank you, Liberians everywhere for joining in your conversation, listening, watching, and texting. Share the show. Share the show. Welcome, everybody. Dr. Richardson, Phoebe Henry, good day. The good old counselor. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a great show tonight. So, Doc, before I talk about a great show, just say something. Say something. You know, you calm our nerves a little bit when you say something. So go ahead, Dr. Richardson, say something.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say hello to my fellow panelists, you, Dr. Brooklyn, for starting the show on a good foot. Phoebe Henrys, it's always wonderful having you. You add a different voice to the conversation, and of course, I appreciate the legal critical thoughts. The legal feedback that we get here on Spoon. So you're so right. I wrote down the 3 critical things that we take away from watching Spoon, and this is what makes us big. This is what makes us a healthy platform, because I believe that Liberians need to be able to think critically, engage in the issues relating to our country critically. They also need to be constructive in their thoughts, and you bring that to us, Dr. Brooklyn. You bring that constructive way of thinking, and also solution oriented. I watch you and heard you over a long time. I don't think there's a day that goes by that you don't try to find solutions to our problem, as opposed to just looking at the problem all the time. But I appreciate the diversity of thoughts here, the diversity of opinions here. This is what strengthens the nation. If we came here, this is what makes this platform different from other platforms. We can come here and sing the same Kumbaya song, but we don't. We come from, the economic perspective, the legal perspective, the accounting perspective, the diversity, the psychology perspective, the human nature perspective. And this is what you find here at Spoon, the nursing, the medical health care perspective. And I kind of look around sometimes on the different platforms that are on, social media, and it's hard to find one that will beat Spoon. And I've been here for a long time. I've been around the block for a long time, and I check. Sometimes I'll just pop in and listen, and that's what we bring. And this is what makes Spoon powerful nationwide, worldwide, because we get people watching from all over the world. And you're right. Last Saturday, I don't know, I had called Stanton because I was not here. I was away from home. I wasn't in my state, and there was no show. People were calling me, Doc, what happened? What happened? Don't you think you guys are supposed to give us a prelude? When you guys coming back? Just do something. I'm like, okay. So I called Stanton, and I said, what's going on? There's no show, because usually Saturdays I'm not on, nor am I on Sundays. And he said that, whatever he said, but that's just a testament to say how big and popular people like this program. They want to watch it even when when we need to take a day off or so. They want to be here because they want to engage in the conversation. And so I encourage you to please share the show, engage us, talk to us through your comment section. We appreciate all of your thoughts. That doesn't upset us. You have your opinion as well. We read them. Sometimes we don't read them because of time, but participate. This is why you're here. We want, at the end of the day, for all Liberians to be involved in making Liberia a better place, and also making the airwave a place where it's full of positivity and constructive, and it provides the information to you, so you'll be well-rounded and well-informed at the end of the day. So that's why I wanted to add. So Fubi, did you want to? And I'll let you do the moderation until we get our moderator here today, Dr. Brooklyn, because you started off on a good foot, doing a great job. Or either I don't know who sent her assigned.
So Doc, we'll come back to Fubi, and Mame, welcome.
Yes.
Glad you're here tonight. I want to introduce our first guest. It's going to be an exciting show. And by the way, the brain behind all of this, the man who demonstrates consistency, sacrificial service, who hangs in there, sticks with it, thick skin, but does a great job. Our CEO, he's not on tonight. Folks, he will be on a limited role. He's under the weather, but he's around. So, you show up and then you step in the back, you show up and step in the back. But I just want you to know, I just want you to know that that Stanton is close by. He's recovering. I was trying to send him some real ginger from Gaia Town. But the FedEx plane had a flat tire at Roberts Field, so it's still there. Stanton, hold steady, brother. It's coming. The ginger is coming from Gaia Town. The real stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready for a great show tonight. Our first guest is B. Elias Shunian, a man who I've gotten to know and love. Elias is a distinguished international affairs strategist. He's a diplomat. He's currently an ambassador at large, and he is the chair of Liberia's Policy Advisory Council on Foreign Affairs. Elias advises the president and the government on strategic alignment between national interests and global opportunities. Elias also serves as the dean at our School of Global Affairs and Policy at Cuttington. We're blessed to have him there. He was the acting foreign minister. Man, you know all this stuff. I'm saying it for the public. He was the acting foreign minister at one point and the principal deputy. Elias is a great resource. He's going to come on tonight, and we're going to talk about two important things tonight. First, our non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, and then we will transition into ArcelorMittal because he has some relationship there. So So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready. We're going to get Elias in the back in a minute. Elias is coming in a minute. Counselor, welcome back. Fubi, say hello to the people real quick while Elias is coming. Say hello to the people.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody, and good evening to the team. And it was good energy from Dr. Brubler with the start of the intro and speedy recovery CEO. You know, those are ginger. The FedEx style got flat, but take advantage of
This
drink, 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 drink more water.
Dr. Brubler, the FedEx tire boss.
Yeah, so drink more water and drink some hot pepper soup. The real pepper soup, not a joking pepper. It will help to flush the cool out of the system in place of the ginger while you're waiting for the FedEx to be tired to be repaired.
Thank you, Fubi. Mame, say hello to the people. Ambassador Shuni is about to come in. Say hello real quick.
Yeah, greetings everybody. Good to be back today. Enjoy the show. I don't know how Stanton will get cool in the summer. I don't know which cool is that. We need to investigate further, but get well, Stanton. It's
Hey, man,
unusual to see.
changes on the way. Give the
Yeah,
brother some
it's unusual to see people getting cool during the summer. I mean, this place is hot, everybody moving, but then you get cool. But anyway, it's good to be back. Let's get into the discussion. The ArcelorMittal thing is big. We need to know. People are complaining. I mean, they've made investment in the country. We cannot allow them to go, but we can make the deal better. And let's hear what comes out of this whole UN seat, and then we can move into other, discussions around the courts. I know car things are happening. Where is it now? Why can we move forward? Can we get it better? And stuff like that. We're looking forward to talking. So join the show. Let's talk. Send your comments. Ask others to come. The show will be as always as it is.
All right, thank you. Counselor, say hello real quick. The ambassador's about to come in. Say hello.
Okay, let me say hi to all of you. Hi to those following us. I hope tonight that we will have a good show and the Liberian people will benefit from the information that we provide. So thank you.
Thank you. We're going to have a great show tonight. So Ambassador Shonian is coming now. He's coming in a minute. He's coming in now.
Is he in the studio?
Oh, he's joining us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll look forward
It's going to be a great show tonight, folks. It's going to be great because one, you're here, and two, you're going to share the wealth. Share the wealth. Just don't talk about it. Be about it. Just grab your gadget and share with some folks so that we can be part of this conversation that can help us change our nation. Ambassador Shonian is coming in.
Who is in the background? I mean, when we got topics on the court, I know how things are coming from there. Today, Yeke was confirming that yes, they did have a conversation. They had a conversation rather, except that they were not talking about bringing anywhere. They were talking about providing security for themselves. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the evidence, whether it's admitted in the court, how can we move forward, pay attention to the judges, and all the social media issues around the case. It's a big case associated with politicians. You cannot rule that out. But again, like we say, the law is the law.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Mommy. So we just send a spoon helicopter to go get the ambassador. He will be here in a second. All right. So Dr. Richardson, what's one thing that's on your mind tonight? Let's engage for a little tit for tat until the ambassador gets here. Just what's one thing that's on your mind tonight? We're not going to dig deep, but you can just kind of whet our appetite. One thing that's on your mind tonight.
I think that it's important for Liberians to know the nature of the court proceedings, and I want to take some tips from Counselor Good because he's the legal person on the show. Know the charges because people tend to be lumping everything under arson, but each of these members of the court proceeding are charged differently, and it require a different way of thinking about the charges. So I think that we need to be very familiar, and maybe Councilor Good can tell us the different charges that they have as it relates to this arson situation, which is the burning of the Capitol, because each charge comes with a different outcome and a different set of punishment. So I think that we should educate and of course make people aware. I also want to put that on the side a little bit because it's in the legal theater right now. I want the people to do the work, the legal the court system to do its work, but I don't want to forget that the budget issue that happened in the Capitol, I want us to make sure that that Capitol building gets audited. Okay, I think that we should continue to find a way that the Capitol, the whole legislature, gets audited, because I believe something happened during the months in terms of people spending not in a way that is consistent with the budget. Okay, people spending in a criminal manner, I would like to say, during the times in which the Capitol building was under hostage by the anti-rule of law and the rule of law gang. So I want us to keep our eyes focused on that as well. Thank you.
To Richardson. All right, Fubi, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so I think I wanted to speak on the same thing that I know that Mame brought up, the issue about the recording. At least now we have passed one stage that the recording is not AI generated. So we have crossed that stage. So there's the code of public opinion needs to get that clear that the recording is not AI generated. Then to Dr. Richardson's point, and I read the communication from Chairman and that it's a complicated stuff. We all would like to see the legislature being audited, but the president cannot enforce an audit against the House. The House has to mandate that herself. So they need to get the numbers in both the Senate and the House of Representatives to make that happen. The president cannot enforce that. The president and the House also, like I told them before, they're not supposed to, the structure of the legislature, they're not supposed to handle money besides their salaries and benefits as per Article 36. And so that's why when you hear them talking about legislative engagement fund, I've always frowned against that. They shouldn't be taking money to do projects. All execution of projects should be done through the executive, not the legislature itself. They shouldn't give them money because only their salaries and benefits. So when you receive your salary and benefit, nobody can audit you for your salary and benefit, how you spend it. So they're not subject to audit on that basis. But I think they breached the gap they breached the law by taking money and to be accounting for. So on that both you have to go that route. But they have to sanction it. The president cannot enforce it on them. They got the power to request audit for all government entities, and including themselves.
Thank you, Fubi. Thank you. Councilor, 30 seconds.
Thank you. Liberia remains on my mind. Anything that affects the people will affect me as a person. So the concerns of the people remains our concern. And we're talking about the audit of the legislature. Whether the president or the legislature itself, we want it to be audited. We are the people we're calling for an audit. We don't care about who's supposed to audit them. We, their employers, we saying we want audit. They must listen to us and grant our request. I hope that you can have the time to put it on the show for even 10 minutes or 5 minutes before showing come. Let the Liberian people say something, whether they want the legislature to be audited. Let them hear it. So I think they must be audited. Like any other government institution that receiving public funding, they must be audited. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show from all over the globe. This show is local, it's national, and it is global. So share the show. Like CEO would say, share the show. We're about to welcome now Ambassador B. Elias Shunian on the set.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brooklyn, for having me this evening, and hello to Dr. Chinowet Richardson and Phoebe Henrys, Ambulai Mame, Councillor Good, and others who may be in the back. It's my pleasure joining you all this evening.
All right, thank you, Ambassador Shunni. Welcome to Spoon Talk. Glad you're here tonight. We want to get right into it. Two big things we want to talk to you about, and we believe you can share some light on it. The first one is the non-permanent seat that Liberia just attained at the UN. We know it starts 2026, but we'll be excited until 2026 about this seat. So, Ambassador, talk to us a little bit. This is your area, diplomacy, foreign affairs, those kinds of things. So talk to us. Why is this important? Why is this important to Liberia and to the Liberian people?
Okay, first, I will congratulate the government of Liberia for the work and the campaign and all of the effort into Liberia's win. This is significant, very significant, and of significant relevance in many contexts, be it political, economic, and social, be it leveraging our international affairs and whatever it is. It's just significant. And I know it took a real big fight, because obtaining a seat at the table where the agenda for the world is set within the context of peacekeeping mission, conflict resolution, sanctions, security, peace and security, economic development globally, that's huge. And sometimes I tend to think that perhaps many Liberians don't even understand the significance of this win. And I want to congratulate President Boakai and his team, particularly Foreign Minister Sarah Beslow, for the effort and the commitment, despite limited resources that they had. They still were able to persevere, and we won this seat today. It's a great thing for Liberia, for every Liberian, and I think we should celebrate. I hear a lot of Liberians on the radio and other places inquiring, what is all the noise about this Security Council seat? And this seat has given us a voice as a country, especially as a post-conflict country. It has given us a voice in decision-making on global peace and security. And not just that, especially as a country that has seen its own fair share of devastation and conflict. This seat enhances our soft power and our prestige as a country. We know for many years now, most of what you hear about Liberia or from Liberia are just really negative. All the negativity of what's happening around. And when you look at the stark poverty that our people are in, and the disorganization of our institutions and whatever it is, this is an incredibly big news. And we can leverage this opportunity to take a new path in a new direction for our country. And Liberia membership to the Security Council also signals that our country can be trusted, and our country is a responsible international actor, and it's going to enhance our global image and give us the kind of a legitimacy that we need on the global stage. So I would talk about so many great things that can come out of here. In fact, this may lead to greater recognition of our country by powerful countries, including the P5, like the United States, China, France, Russia, UK, and others. And they will want to talk to us because we're on the table where the agenda is being set. And when it comes to policy shaping and agenda setting, that's where we can leverage also even greatly, because Liberia now can be able to champion issues of global and regional significance. That is, whenever there are issues around Africa that concern many countries in the region, they will be talking to us, so that whatever the issues are, whatever the agenda for Africa is, that agenda can get on the global stage and get on the table out there. And Liberia will be that voice that will be putting that agenda. The question of counterterrorism, security, climate change, peace building, you can name it all. And it also enables the advancement of national and regional priorities through international coalition. We would definitely be part of those kind of coalitions, because countries who want our voice to be a part of that, because our voice is the voice that would migrate, or that will basically move that particular subject on the global table where action can actually be taken. Because as you know, the Security Council is one of the 6 principal UN institutions, but it's the only institution in the UN that has an actionable mandate that can actually take an action, and that action is binding. All of its resolutions are all binding, unlike the General Assembly. The General Assembly is more about naming and shaming. That's how I see it. But for the Security Council, when they pass a resolution, it's binding on every member state. And Liberia is going to be on that table and putting its voice and its prints on whatever that's going to be happening. And
so Ambassador, I'm gonna inject here, because I know you got a lot more to say, and all of my colleagues, have a question. So let me inject here. You said something important. Just being there with those powerful nations, right? Whether we are a permanent member or not, just being in the room. And I guess Liberia, having been through war, we have that sensibility, that understanding that we bring to the table, and we can affect the conversation. But let me ask you though, because in Liberia we have this thing where it's almost like it's almost like some kind of omen. Like we are in position, we do certain things, a lot of them's not right, and then the next group come. We seem to notice it when we're not there, right? But then the next group come and they seem to do the same thing. It's like we don't learn from the past. So here's the question I want to ask you. Back then, 1961 or so, we were there, right? It's our second rodeo. So I know you're in that old, but you're a student of history. So I want to ask you though, what novel from that tenure, Liberia being on the Security Council, the non-permanent member back then, what novel that happened back then, and what lessons can we learn, or what didn't we do back then that now, all these decades later, we could do differently? That's the question I want to ask you. It's our second rodeo. Can we learn anything? Can we do some things better now that we're there?
The question is, when was the most notable period of massive economic inflow into our country, investment inflow? It was during the 60s, the 60s and 70s, and a little bit in the 80s. And there were no clear measure or studies done, to attribute those successes to our seat at the table at the Security Council. However, if you look at the trend, and then you would think perhaps that had some leverage on some of the good things that happened to Liberia during that period. One mining company came to Liberia just within that time, during the late 60s, and Lamco, and you can name. And we talk, when you look at history, you got the economic history of Liberia in the region. During this period, we're talking about the late 60s and 70s, Liberia was counted among one of the fastest growing economies in the world, far above many of the countries today that are seen as developed, or like Singapore and others. So we could attribute that to it. As I said, as I indicated, there is no clear studies done that I can draw from, but from the trend of that time through history up to now, I can definitely attribute some of those successes to us being on the table.
Okay, thank you, Ambassador. So I got a couple more questions, but I want to pause here and bring my very brilliant colleagues in. So Dr. Richardson, I'll start with you. If you have a question for the ambassador, we're just going to go around and from Dr. Richardson to Councilor Gould, and then Fully Henry, and then Uncle Sam. Ambassador, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you, Dr. Brooklet. Also, thank you, Ambassador, for being here tonight and discussing to the Security Seat Council that Liberia obtained. I want to say kudos to Liberia for winning the seat. I often speak to people in Liberia every day, and one of the things that I get asked often, and mostly for people who are not in Monrovia, and the question is, what does this mean for me, who in for my district, Bon Mines? You mentioned that earlier. What does it mean for me? How does Liberia? What is the significance of Liberia going to be a non-permanent member, having a non-permanent member seat at the United Nations? So, can you speak to, as Uncle Sam Jackson would say, my Wata, or those that are in from my district, that you spoke to me. I understand what you mean about having leveraging privileges, being able to be known by those great P5 countries, but the regular person who is in the former district wants to know, how does this benefit them? So do you want to speak to that?
Well, certainly, most certainly. Earlier, I spoke about the political leverage, and now I will talk about the economic benefits, because when it comes to Liberia, I believe one of the most important things that we should pursue is the economics of doing stuff, because that's the one that filters down to the least and the least of our society and the weakest of our society, and to marginalized communities among us. So first of all, foreign direct investment has been proven. There have been studies that prove this one, that many of the times countries that sit on the Security Council seat got potential for increasing foreign direct investment flow and trade opportunities in their country. The UN Security Council seat often increases a country's visibility and to global investors, actually, and who may perceive greater political stability and international relevance of the countries that are around, because they will say, look, for this country to have won this seat means that this country has political stability in their country, and they have some kind of an international relevance. And those are some of the things that investors do look at when they are determining how or where to invest their money. And they also grant us greater access to high-level diplomatic network, which may lead to expanded trade partnership and economic cooperation. And once we can leverage this, once we can leverage all of these opportunities as a country, that it will filter down to every Liberian, because it will filter down in many different forms. It will filter down in opportunity to education. It will filter down in opportunity to healthcare. It will filter down to opportunities to housing, to roads, and to many other areas. So those are just a few I'm just enumerating here.
Okay.
So
thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson. Is that follow up?
Yes, my follow-up question to you, and I understand all of the economic direct or indirect benefits that could occur, the economic leveraging by being a member of the non-permanent seat at the United Nations. But my second question to you is 1961 is the world is different. We have a president in this part of the world who is putting America first, and I don't blame him. And he was one of the biggest. This country, the United States, was the greatest contributor to the United Nations. And under certain circumstances, he pulled back. The United Nations may not have the same power that it had in the past. So in this geopolitics environment, how do you see Liberia contributing to the United Nations, bringing something different, and as well as benefiting from the United Nations in this geopolitics environment?
As an international affairs professional, I think the United Nations has a lot more power now than 1961, because at that time that was the Cold War period, and during that period, the Security Council was not as active as it is today. If you look into history of the United Nations Security Council, it is after the Cold War that the Security Council got even a lot more relevant than it was during the Cold War period. So I think we getting on the seat at this time, the right time. And at a time when interactions have expanded compared to that time, global interaction, global engagement, and whatever it is, international cooperation has also expanded significantly around the world. And we can leverage that We can leverage international cooperation as well, because the fact that we're on that seat, many countries want to talk to us. So, and that the evidence have shown also that many developing countries that got that seat saw an increase in development assistance and development support, because many of the powers want to leverage your role, your seat on that table. So they will be kind to you, they will be friendly with you, because they will want to use your authority and power to make for themselves, actually. Yeah.
I hate to disagree with you. I don't think that the United Nations is as powerful as it used to be, considering that it has not been receiving support from one of the greatest nations in the world. So I just want to let you know that. But I disagree, but I understand where you're coming from.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Councilor Gould, a question for the ambassador?
Yes, I have a comment and a question. So I just want to say that it's going to be a little bit difficult to measure what we benefited in 1961 to 1963 compared to what we may benefit from 2026 to 2028. And I heard the ambassador talk about investment opportunities that came during that time. I know by that time we have Firestone, and at the time we had they were recognized by the U.S. We helped into the World War II, where the Rouse International Airport was built. So I don't know whether we have any. And he said there's no data to show, so I don't want for us to go back there, because we may not be providing the proper information to the public. Let's wait and see what we can count on from 2026 to 2028. My question is, since 1961, Minister, you've been around for a period of time. Had there been any time Liberia opted to be a member of the Security Council and they fail, and or if not, why you think other government didn't, since 1961, other government didn't see the relevance to push for our being on the Security Council other than the past and the present government?
Firstly, a seat on the Security Council is rotational. So when you have an opportunity to serve today, it has to make a round. That seat will definitely have to make a round. So it will be very unlikely that after you've served in 5-10 years, you will want to make a try again, because as you know, the seats are allocated regionally. And so every country in the region would like to put forth their ambition. So other countries may reject you, because what made our fight a little bit easier is because we're able to mobilize Africa behind our vote, and because Africa had endorsed it, so we were not only leveraging on our relationship, we're also leveraging on the relationship of other African countries as well, because that was an African vote.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Just a follow-up. We have Congo. I think Congo and another country have gone there twice. So I would say, my question was it directly because of the rotational issue, because this is Congo's second time being elected, or it's just that they didn't make the push at the time, and for us to go on the Security Council since 1961. That's all.
Yes, you should remember that we had history of tragedy, history of conflict, and those may have played significant, because obviously you can be in a state of conflict and try to pursue a Security Council seat. No one's going to take you seriously. So, and since 1980, between 1980 to 1990, we were in. Also, somebody would call that surface peace, but beneath the surface there was a lot of tension. And then 1990 actually was the outburst of the 10-year period, we saw actual violent, devastating crisis for a long period of time. And then by 2003, we were basically in a state of reconstruction, transitioning to democratic governance and to build trust again. So obviously those were not periods where we could have tried to table an ambition to the Security Council.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ambassador Shanahan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Spoon Talk. You're in the right place. It's not accidental. It's intentional. Stay where you are and engage and share the show. We're talking to Ambassador B. Elias Shanahan, one of our brightest diplomat and foreign service expert. We're talking to him tonight. Fubi, you have a question or a comment for the ambassador?
Yeah, so good evening, Ambassador Shanahan. And my point, I've always been against the whole aid mentality that we should be receiving aid from countries because of our current state, and being on the Security Council should not be also by attracting aid and other stuff. Because I believe that we got a lot of resources with the right mindset and the right push from government. We in right policy implementation, we can drive a lot of economic growth within the country. And I think that that's where the government should focus, because we are blessed, our soil and all other resources that we have around. There are a lot of blessings that God has given us. So we just need to leverage on them with seriousness, and the rest will be history. So my point I would like for you to drive and push or answer is, what is Liberia taking to the seat? Sitting around that table, what is Liberia taking there? For me, that's the most important thing. What do we have to offer the world by being on the Security Council? And my step grandmother Angie Brooks was the African female president of the United Nations. And my grandfather signed the charter that established the UN in 1945. One of the signatories of Liberia when he served as the head on foreign affairs and education. And so it's a great thing to see us being back on the table. So, and around the table, what do we have to offer the rest of the world? That's the thing I want Liberia to drive, and not what we're going to get. What do we have to give back as a nation?
That's a great question, Afui. But Liberia has a lot to give. We have a whole lot to give. First of all, during the formation of the United Nations, Liberia was just one of the 4 countries from Africa that participated in signaturing that document. We have history. And you know why in Africa we gave such a great leverage, and we ascribe to older people this whole context of wise, of wisdom. It's simply because of the experiences they've had and which come with age. So Liberia being the oldest republic on the continent of Africa, been engaging diplomatically for all this period. We've had our own share of prosperity. We have our own share of crisis. We have a very checkered history. So having witnessed all of these ups and downs, highs and lows, I think we have significant experience that we can come to the table with. And in war, particularly the core function of the core mandate of the United Nations Security Council is the maintenance of peace and security. In Liberia, considering what we've experienced from the coup of 1980 to the insurrection of 1989 and multiple military intervention in our country that saw foreign boots on our soil and so forth. And then we were able to rise out of that and transition to democratic governance, and then now deploying our own forces to also help other countries in crisis that we were in. I think it's an incredibly wonderful example that any country can share, and we want to share or learn from.
All right, thank you, Ambassador Shanahan. Let's move to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, you got a question for the ambassador?
Yeah, Elias. Good evening. Good afternoon. I mean, nice to see you. Okay.
Good to see you, my friend Sam. Good to see you.
Great. Okay,
It's
look.
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Look, I just want to ask you, are you speaking in your own capacity or you're speaking with some link to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Then I'll ask you a question.
I'm speaking currently as the chairperson of the Policy Advisory Council on Foreign Affairs and a senior ambassador at large.
So your government. Okay, great. So I know I have to basically, if I'm asking a private citizen, then I'm asking a government official. Look, why do you think there was such celebration, by the Unity Party government? I mean, and I'll be very frank. I mean, it's a good thing that Liberia was selected to the non-permanent role. But why do you think? I mean, they made such. Don't you think the noise was a little bit too much? I mean, and it was like politicized, and they didn't really give some great thought to using the opportunity for unity, but instead of they use it to scoring points and to get political capital out of it. Why do you think they did that?
Oh, Sam, who does not like success? Or who doesn't like to be associated with success? That's why in the African term, we always have this saying that a successful child is the child with many parents. And a child that is unsuccessful got none, because nobody wants to be associated with flunkies or failure. So the fact that this significant success came under the Unity Party administration watch, I think it deserved the kind of a celebration that we saw, and I will also think that this runs far beyond political institution, and I think we should see it as a patriotic duty of any Liberian to have celebrated the maximum when we were declared officially a winner to join the Security Council.
Okay,
when our votes were considered. Yeah.
Okay. So you are aware that the DRC is a war-torn country, one of the most corrupt countries in the world, and it has a lower per capita GDP than Liberia. It has a lower human development index than Liberia. The provincial capital of Goma, or I think it was either capital, there's a serious fighting in there. So if you ascend to a non-permanent role with a country with that kind of a background and that kind of a characterization, is there anything to really celebrate about when you and DRC in the same kind of in the same pot? Is there something spectacular that you did to get that position?
Most of the premises you lay are correct, except the GDP. DRC GDP is far more than Liberia.
But that's not true. That's not true, sir.
You can Google that right now.
Well, I don't have to Google it. I know I've already Googled it, and I put it in the chat room already. I did that already.
It's far.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about GDP per capita, sir. GDP per capita.
Okay, you said per capita. Okay, good.
I said GDP per capita. Yeah.
Okay,
so would you like to apologize to me, sir?
He said GDP. He said GDP.
I just told you. I said GDP.
No, I said GDP. Okay, I misspoke.
I said per capita, so there was a miscommunication.
Yeah,
so let's get back in close then.
Okay,
yeah. So I just want you to understand that Liberia did not win this seat aligning with going as a co-operative with DRC Congo. DRC went on its own bottom, and we went on our own as well. And as you know, Africa is normally entitled to 3 seats, and those seats are regionally aligned. So DRC Congo, is on the other part of Africa, and we are on the west. So I don't think the DRC win has no influence on us on how we won. So I think what I can say is that Liberia has won, and Liberia is going to develop the necessary mechanism that's required for us to make the most of this win that will benefit the people of Liberia.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Mame, let's hear you. A question for the ambassador.
Yeah, so we're still talking about, good to meet you, Ambassador Shuni. We're still
My
talking
pleasure,
about
Emily.
we're still talking about the UN Security Council seats and benefits. I think we should manage our people's expectation. I'm making a comment before a question. Manage our people's expectation. Of course, yes, there have been studies conducted to show some level of relationship between being on the seat, specifically additional or increased funding from the World Bank. That study was conducted by Dreher. There have been studies on being on the seat and increased benefit from UNA, USAID. That was conducted by Princeton University professor Kuzmiko. But the point here is, at the current stage, there's huge dip in UN funding. UC is already off the cliff. So maybe potential benefits will be coming in, but it will only just be good from our own perspective that will manage our expectation. It will be more about visibility. Some of those benefits will come, or maybe in the long term. But my question to you would be, what, similar to what you were saying about what is Liberia doing? There is war in Gaza, war in Ukraine, war in other places. Liberia is sitting on the seat. Can you pin for us a picture on where we stand as a country? What are we taking in those negotiations to bring global peace? What are we doing about the Sahel region in Africa? We are representing Africa on that seat. What are the messages? I know you'll not be telling me specific messages, but can you get us to the point where we begin to expect what coming out of Liberia for global peace?
Liberia's policy for a while now has been fringed on global peace and security, and that is demonstrated by our participation in peace building and peacekeeping with our troops in serving in Mali currently, and so part of what I think we're going to be doing on that seat is to continue to leverage our experience, as I said earlier in my response, that our experience of war and how we were able to find our way, having missed so many times. And when it comes to the question of what's happening in Gaza and what's happening in other places of the world, I just want you to know that Liberia has been voting on most of the resolutions around those conflicts and whatever it is. And our policy remains the same. And that's why I will rein on what the foreign minister said during her speech during when we won the vote, that Liberia and the president also echoed that by saying Liberia will be a principal member of the Security Council. It means that our vote will be used to bring about peace. Our vote will be used to bring about prosperity for the world, and our vote will be used to bring about collaboration and global partnership.
Talking about food as a follow-up, the UN Security Council resolution on peace recently was vetoed by the US, specifically for Gaza. Can you just maybe tell us what Liberia's position was on that issue, if that's something you can talk to?
I don't have specific information as to what that vote, how we voted in that, but I can, considering the trend and the policy that I know this government has adopted, I would doubt that the government would not support peace. Yeah.
Thank you. It's over to you, Dr. Brooklyn. You muted that.
Go ahead, Mama. Are you done?
No, yeah, I'll say it's over to you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So, Ambassador, thank you for being here tonight. And again, if you're just joining us, this is Spoon Talk. There is no talk like Spoon Talk. So, join the show, share the show, and let's be part of the conversation. Ambassador, there are those who say that, Africa, we had two spots anyway. And it was not necessary to do all the campaigning because there were two slots. There's Congo, there's Liberia, and we're going to get this anyway. And then there are others who say, not quite like that. You got to reach a certain threshold. So talk to us. What do you say to those who say this thing was a foregone conclusion we didn't have to do all this campaigning. What do you say to those people?
I would say that perhaps I think that's just a lack of information, and perhaps we take responsibility. We should have probably provided sufficient information to the public, and we did. But winning that seat entailed a lot of work, a whole lot of work. It was not something that just comes about because you're an African, because you have your ambition on the table. First of all, to even win this slot for Africa requires a lot of collaboration, a lot of diplomatic moves and diplomatic maneuvering and reciprocal engagement where give and take and whatever it is. It's not something that we just lay back and came rolling over us. I can tell you that. Much so.
Okay, so thank you for that. So I want to ask this question, okay? And Talbot, President Talbot, which I think was one of our greatest presidents. He was very progressive, he was very dynamic, but he made a speech at the UN, and he called for a two-state solution. He was very critical of Israel. And, short time thereafter, the coup took place, and we know the rest of that story. There are those who say that his speech has something to do with his demise. I'm not going there because I got no evidence. I can't find anything to make the connection. But this is what I want to ask you. So here we are. We're now on the Security Council. There's still hope for this two-state solution, difficult as it is. Back in the day, they said however America voted, that's how Liberia voted, and now we got a new president in the U.S. who cutting USAID money and all this stuff. What would be your advice, right, to the president and those who represent us at the UN? If you come to difficult issues that has to do with human rights and people's rights, how would you advise the government to vote on these matters, especially, let's just take Israel-Palestine two-state solution?
Firstly, I should say, with my experience, with my long experience working in international affairs and at the foreign ministry, I never saw a time where the United States will expect that a partner would just vote entirely blindly for the U.S. all the time. Even the U.S. does not expect that. And I'm sure if the U.S. finds any country doing that, they themselves would be surprised. Yeah, and I know so many times when we voted opposite the U.S., so many times. And I know also many times when we abstained, but I would say that we voted with the U.S. on on countless occasions. It's because we share a similar system of government. We have a lot of policy in common, the same, and whatever it is. But that does not mean that we would just vote blindly because the United States is a friend. And one of the things that we did is that whenever we had very strong conviction on a certain vote that the U.S. was not aligned with, we sought a conversation with the United States. We exchanged notes. We get to understand why they were voting the way they were voting, and we share with them also why we want to vote the way we want to vote. Sometimes in that conversation, things will change, policy will shift, but it will not be strictly only blindly done. It will be strictly done on new information that we've gathered.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm losing you from my end.
We can hear you good. We're good.
Yes, we're good. I'm hearing you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Ambassador Shanahan. So here's the question that I think is on many people's mind, but probably don't ask this time. So let me ask you. So there's a lot of talk about how much we spend for our campaign. Some people say $200,000, $400,000, $1 million. Somebody wrote to me, they did $25 million. Plenty money there. $25 million for her to get a seat on the year, and we ain't Bapulo ain't got bench to sit on. Ambassador, tell us. I know you to be a straight shooter. How much you spend on this campaign? I'm gonna take how much.
I'm not sure if I'm authorized to say this, but I would believe that a government that I know, this government that I know, would like to be transparent with its people and to let the people know what it's doing and how it's doing it and why it's doing it. And I've always said to people, once you know you're doing the right thing, you are not afraid to do it publicly. And from all of the information I gathered, this government did not spend more than $200,000 in the campaign. But government was able, in terms of government's money, but I think Foreign Minister Beslo Yanti was able to reach out there and mobilize additional resources to support our campaign, because clearly $200,000 is just a dash in the bucket that couldn't have brought us to the ultimate win that we've got now. So she had to go the extra mile to raise money from a private entity, private institution, and others.
And so yeah, the people, Liberian people, want to know. We all for the campaign. We're excited for the seat, but we won't file a Freedom of Information Act just to find out how much money to spend on the campaign. But Ambassador, thank you for weighing in on that. So we want to transition, Ambassador. We want to transition. I just want to thank you for being. I know you're a busy man. You're out there doing a lot of good things. So I appreciate you. Thank you for being with us tonight and hanging with us, folks. If you're just joining, this is Spoon Talk, and we're talking to Ambassador Elias Shunigan, a former acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, now the chair for the Advisory Committee, Advisory Council on Foreign Relations. So we're talking to him tonight. So share the show so other people can weigh in and we can share the wealth. Ambassador, want to transition. One of the things you do as the chair is you do this strategic alignment, right, between national interests and international opportunities. And you do work with ArcelorMittal and for ArcelorMittal. So we want to transition there and see if we can help us understand a little bit. There's been a lot of talk about what happened in Nimba, this New Deal. There were people who came out and said they're not doing enough, like the senator from Nimba. But you work with them, you do stuff with them. So let's transition so you can tell us, how can this government, our government, find that strategic alignment between its national interest, right, and this international opportunity called Metal Steel, that's the other name for them, and how we can maximize it so Liberians can benefit the most in this next season if we're going to stay with Metal Steel. Talk to us about that.
Okay, thank you. Before I dive into that, let me first say that I'm now removing my hat as an advisor to the Foreign Ministry and the government of Liberia, and I'm putting on my hat as a consultant that runs the Africa Development Management Associates, a 100% Liberian firm of high caliber professionals that provide professional guidance and support to multinational companies and to governments in Africa as well. Just to give a quick background, we do a lot of work in the region. In fact, last year we had one of the largest ECOWAS projects where we were working with ECOWAS to establish a new institution in ECOWAS called ECOSOC West Africa. That's the Economic, Social, and Cultural Council of West Africa. And we've been doing work in Sierra Leone, in Togo, and last year we supported the government of Liberia with the development of the formulation of the 15 counties development agenda, which was a great opportunity, an incredible opportunity to see Liberians themselves supporting their own agenda for the future of their country. So we also provide strategic advice to ArcelorMittal in many respects on many issues beside mining. But before that, we are Liberians. That's the first thing. Before that, we are Liberians. And I'm saying this to say that I will be providing a counsel for any institution. But if that institution is going to shortchange Liberia, then obviously that violates my ethical standing, and I will definitely not. I will walk away. And I think Liberians know already that I have a history of walking away. When I walked away in 2019 as the principal deputy foreign minister of Liberia, and I resigned that post after 1 year and a half of being there. And when I felt that my standing, my ethical standing was being questioned by being in that role at the time, and I walked away. So firstly, ArcelorMittal just last week launched and dedicated its concentrator, which is a part of its second phase 2 expansion plan, which is going to see about $1.8 billion invested in our country, Liberia. And before going to that, one of the things I want us to take note of is that last year, just a few miles away from Liberia in Cote d'Ivoire saw $13.8 billion new investment. $13.8 billion new investment in Cote d'Ivoire last year. And Sierra Leone, next to us, saw $408 million in new investment. And for the last 6 years, Liberia has seen zero new investment in this country. And I think every well-meaning Liberian should be concerned. Why is it happening? Why are investment inflows growing in other countries in our neighborhood, but our country is not seeing investment? So ArcelorMittal investment, their $1.8 billion investment, I think opens the door for us to have a turnaround in terms of investment inflow into our country after 6 years. And it's happening under this government. So I say kudos to the government. And this new investment by ArcelorMittal is going to see up to around 4,000 to 5,000 Liberians hired, indirect and permanent and temporary hiring. I think about 3,000 of that number are going to be permanently hired. Besides that, currently ArcelorMittal pays about between $35 to $45 million to the government of Liberia in annual payment. That includes royalty and taxes and whatever it is. And in this phase 2 program, that money is going to jump, is going to increase all the way to $200 million per annum. And we know what that money would do for Liberia. With all of the challenges we have in health, in education, in entrepreneurship, and whatever it is, in so many areas, social, political, economic areas that we need to fix. That money will be used to help our country. And so I think that's a big gain for Liberia. So when I hear people talk about, or I hear some people say, even though not majority, a few persons saying, oh, we don't want that investment. I'm a little shocked. I'm extremely shocked for a poor country like us, which we haven't seen one investment in our country for the last 6 years, when investment have been going to other countries around us. And a company that is already here is saying, look, instead of investing some other place, I'm going to add value on what I'm getting out of your country, and I will bring you new jobs by doing this. And for someone to say, look, we don't want it, I'm shocked. I'm extremely shocked. And when I listen to some of the argument, look, the company hasn't done everything right. I'm not going to sit there and pretend I'm a Liberian and pretend that they've done everything 100%. But the compliance report I saw in the MDA, there are 18 commitments, 18 provisions and obligations that the company is supposed to meet. The company has done about 13. So it tells you that the company is well on its way trying to meet up with the 18. They haven't yet done all, but they are making an effort to do that. So if you say, okay, because you haven't done all the remaining numbers, We don't want you. I think that's really foolish and
Okay,
naive.
all right. Thank you, Ambassador. I know you have more to say, but let's hear from my colleagues. Dr. Richardson, ArcelorMittal. Its
Yes.
presence here, its impact, whatever's on your mind around the particular investor in Liberia. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, Mr. Ambassador, my question to you is, what do you think the role of leadership in good governance is in verifying that investors add values to our infrastructure, economy, education, and health sectors, as you said? Because I will give you a brief story. A couple of years ago, when China Union came to Liberia, there's a noise going in the background. Um, I met with China Union because when I first visited Bon Mines, I actually cried. It was not the company that I grew up in. It was, dilapidated, overgrown forest in where my house was. And so I was so mad that I walked. I think at that time, China Union had an office on Macklin Street or something like that. And I got even sad to understand that the manager of China Union told me at that time, and this was during Ellen regime, I don't understand why you're coming to us. Why are you not going to your executive and your legislature? Because we have paid up, like you said, we paid up on our agreements. We made most of our agreements. We have corporate social responsibility. We're given money. So why are you mad? Because I was mad at the Chinese. So my question to you is, what do you think the role is of leadership and good governance in terms of making sure that these investors are, adding value to our infrastructure, our, health sector, and what have you, as you describe here?
Okay. Firstly, the investor has to make money for the country to make money. If the investor not making money, we cannot expect that we will make money as well. The fact that we get them here is a mutual arrangement where they make money and we as a country make money. China Union has not shipped 1 ounce of iron ore from this country. 1 ounce. So I don't expect them to build Bon Mines as it was before the war. I lived in Bon Mines myself. I enjoy the comfort of being there. But I try to be practical as well, because at the end of the day, if we're not practical and there's a sense that we are harassing investors, it basically destroys our potential to get new investors coming to the country. So I have no relationship with China Union, absolutely no, but us are just trying to be a little practical, that China Union has not really been moving iron ore. So I don't think that we will see any kind of a transformation in our Bon Mines area yet until they can start to move their iron ores. And when they start to move their iron ore, obviously we have to demand what is rightly ours. Yeah, and I will support that 100%, that we demand what is ours.
Just a point of correction. Am I hearing you clearly? Because that's not what they told me. They told me that the grade of iron ore was different than when I lived in Bon Mines. They are shipping a lower grade of iron ore out of Liberia. And we see the train. Bon Mines people tell me that they see the train leaving Liberia, Bon Mines regularly. But you are saying that they are not shipping any iron ore. We don't know where the iron ore is going in, or the grade of iron ore.
They are not. No, they are not. As far as I'm concerned, they are not. Except they started recently, I don't know. But I don't, from all of the records I've seen, I have not seen any record where they've started shipping. They've been having some crises, a lot of economic crisis, the financial crisis they've been having. That I know very well. So I don't have any evidence or record that they've been shipping iron ore. No, I don't think so. ArcelorMittal obviously been shipping iron ore since 2011. Yeah, since 2011, ArcelorMittal been shipping iron ore, and that's one of the things that I think lack of communication has also contributed significantly to. There is this growing negative sentiments against investors in Liberia, and I'm a teacher also, and I feel my class, I feel people around, and the immediate reaction from many people when it comes to local investment, when it comes to foreign investment in Liberia, is really negative. And that scares me, because the reason that scares me is because if we don't create the kind of an environment, the kind of a friendly environment and cooperative environment, collaborative environment that will make those investors that are existing investors that are here happy to be here, it will be difficult for new investors to come. I believe that we, instead of going out there and vilifying investors and badmouthing them, I think we should engage in constructive engagement. Yeah, let's engage in, and we can demand what is rightly ours, not by yelling loud, and causing, and basically causing our environment, our investment environment to be diminished. But I think we should continue to engage and demand what is rightly ours, though. You see, and another thing also is, I think lack of information has been one of the biggest problems we got. Because when LAMCO was here, LAMCO was moving between 15 to 20 million tons of ore per annum. ArcelorMittal has not even moved up to, I think the highest tonnage to move is 5 million tons. 5 million tons, the highest tonnage to move. So the things that LAMCO are doing, we don't expect them to do it, because obviously they're not moving as even just basically a quarter of what LAMCO are moving is what they're moving. But then we still demand what we think LAMCO are doing. We try to demand similarly from them as well. And I won't blame the people for this. I think it's just been we haven't been providing sufficient information to the public, which the public obviously deserves.
Okay. Yes. I do have a second question, Dr. Brookler, or no?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was researching briefly about what you said about China Union. It said that the EPA recently shut down China Union. So I'm not sure what they were shutting down. Was it shutting down the processing of iron ore, or just shutting down what I still was reading, but I just wanted to share that. But so recently we heard that the legislators were not included in the whole visitation of the plant, the concentrator plant that was recently put up by ArcelorMittal. They were not included in some of the arrangements of the plant. I just wanted to know your background in strategic alignment and national interest. Do you think that was a good move on our government's part not to include some of the legislators to that visit?
I'm surprised. I think, again, it's a communication thing, because I personally asked the government relation head at ArcelorMittal when they were doing their guest list. I asked him personally, I said, are the caucuses of the 3 host communities, that is Bong, Nimba, and Basa, are they on the list? He said, oh yeah, in fact, he forwarded me the list, which I have. And all of the members of the caucus were on the list. It was their decision to boycott. They were invited.
Oh, so are you saying they boycotted?
Yeah, they did. They boycotted. Yeah, I think just two of them attended, but besides the 2, the rest did not attend.
Oh, okay.
And I'm also told, I was told by, I think, 3 others who said they were in the US, that's why they did not attend. But yeah, but it was not intentional. They said if they were here, they were going to attend. But for those who were here and didn't attend, I think it was their decision.
Okay. All right. Councilor Gu.
Ambassador, you serve as chairperson for the advisory council. Is that a paid job or is pro bono?
Till now, I don't know yet, because I've been in the role since February. I've not been paid, and I haven't asked, so I don't know.
Okay. So you said something that which didn't go down well with me, that those Liberians who are pushing for ArcelorMittal to implement the bargain, they are being naive when they say that they cannot accept the company's investment now until they can give guarantee of meeting up with the full social responsibilities. For me, I think it was that to say that it's naive for the people to ask for what they deserve. I think it was too harsh, Mr. Ambassador, because there are some lawmakers who are making very great points in terms of the work that ArcelorMittal should have done and have not done, and they want commitment that they will do those things before they can sign off on their concession. And for you to say that point is naive, I think I hope you misspoke. When you said that, but I think it's not something that will go down well with me, because I think the been here over 20 years now. They should ensure that those things that they sign off on, they do it for the people. I'm sure that ArcelorMittal is benefiting more than the Liberian people, so they deserve to do what they contracted to do. So to ask for it and you say it's naive, I think it's disingenuous. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, let me come in. Councillor Gu, I think there was a miscommunication, I would say, because I didn't say that people who were advocating were naive. I just want to make that straight. I said people who said that the arrangement, the $1.8 billion investment should be rejected, that was being naive. That's what I said. And I said, or further, I said people got the right to demand more. I said that several times, that people got the right to demand more. However, while we are demanding, we cannot say that we throw away. We cannot throw the baby away with the dirty water. So we want it. We want the investment. So we tell the company, look, we want the investment. However, we got some concerns. Let's get on the table and let's engage more constructively. And I also said to you, the medium by which they are communicating this is not the right. It's very, I know, it's not collaborative at all. I think you, as a leader, you cannot run your institution in advocacy in the public. Look, behind the scenes, a lot can be accomplished. Then, because once you go in the public, then egos are bruised and everybody start taking side, want to hold their grounds because the public is watching now. They want to see who's going to win. So I think as a leader, you have to learn the tactics of diplomatic engagement, which is often behind the scenes conversation. I would disagree with you strongly, but in the public, we smile, we do the handshake, but behind the scene, I would tell you, look, I'm not going to do this because this is not right for my people. And that's how, at the end of the day, you'll find a common ground and everyone leave there feeling happy and they'll continue to collaborate. That's the kind of environment we need for investment in Liberia. Not the one that will be because the loudest voice come up and do politics out of everything. And I don't think that's right. No, that's definitely not right for investment climate in our country.
So, Ambassador, I'm not going back and forth with you. I think you have spoken better than when you spoke first, because you were clear in your closing when you said that to call for the rejection because the people had not met the 20 was naive. Now
yeah, and I mean that. Yeah, and I mean that. Yeah. Now, if you say we reject the opportunity because people have not met, I think that's naive. Definitely. I mean, the person don't have information. I'll tell you what. You need to look around here. If you look, the UNDP report 2020, says that 59% of our people wake up every morning with no guarantee they'll get an in-press meal. And you, as a leader, you've been paid fully by the people's money. And you come up and say we should reject $1.8 billion deal, then you are naive.
In favor of the very people?
Is that in favor? No, you are pushing the people down to the ground.
No, because the lawmakers are requesting the company to live up with its previous obligation before it can sign up on the new one. To say that is naive, then it makes myself naive because I'm calling for it to do the same. So no problem. Put all of us in the naive basket. We are naive. We don't support. Support the new investment.
Give 1 second. I think it's a miscommunication. You still contradicting me. You still contradicting me because you're saying these people are advocating that the company must meet up with certain demand before they pass the deed. But then at the same time, you're also saying that people are rejecting the deed. So I think we need to find a common ground on this. And then because I just said, and I will continue to repeat myself, that I agree fully that the company meet up with what it needs to meet up with in the interest of the people. But at the same time, I'm not going to say the company $1.4 billion deal should be rejected. No way. I would tell them we want that deal. However, there are some things we need to fix, and let's have that conversation.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Councillor. Fubi, let's hear you.
Yeah, so few points. investors don't come into the country because they love the people. They came in to make profit. And so if the government cannot take advantage of that opportunity also to make sure that the people in the country benefit at large, then it's a waste of time with our investment, because the other investors are coming, they're not coming because they like Liberians. That a profit margin they're after. So if they can minimize costs or whatever and beat the government down to a very low rate of royalty or other stuff, their interest is their profit and not your Liberian people. So our government got to play that role by ensuring and holding their feet to the fire to ensure that they meet up with whatever they sign up to. And if that means holding up their renewal until they can have a firm commitment, myself will support that. And I'm not, and with our current budget and talking about the contribution that ArcelorMittal will give about $200+ million annually, it sounds big because that's about 25% or more. So it sounds big as a contribution to the national budget. But at the end of the day, it's still peanuts if the government, because our national budget is mainly funding salaries and recurring costs to different ministries. And so we're not meeting our developmental agenda as a country. And that's why we still keep complaining about no road, no this, no hospital. And we're depending on USAID and other stuff. And all these things are being cut down. And the government needs to find better ways to raise revenue so that we can be able to meet our developmental agenda without relying on foreign partners that will come with goodwill. And I think that the government needs to focus on that. And that's why I've been calling on the government to look at the economy, drive the local economy, drive local investment, and the smallholders and how you can do it. Find means, copy some best practices from other countries. China did it, and it became successful. Go back to that model, how China managed. Tobo was about to do it before they killed him. So go back to the Tobo agenda. Why he was put into place. We're seeing an example right here in Burkina Faso, and copy some of these models and see how you can benefit suit the Liberian, locally. But my point is, my question will be on this multi-user railroad that the president signed up to. I just wanted you to speak to that, because that has, up to today's date, I think it's still a big noise, and we are not seeing that being enforced after the president issued an executive order. So how can we address that?
Okay, Afubi, you spoke so well, and I do agree with you mostly that that government has a responsibility to make sure that Liberia get the best out of any deal that we do with investors here. And but before I come to the specific question you asked, one of the things that I also would like to speak about, because I've been hearing this from many Liberians, including some of my students in my class, because we hold these kinds of development conversation. And I think many times we don't try to seek information before we make an argument. Yeah, and most of the time our arguments are mostly based on speculation and rumor and whatever it is. I hear people saying, "Oh, these people cheating us. They're taking all our natural resources and they're giving us peanuts." I hear this around all the time. But I'm surprised to hear this, because, look, NRC has the chart. It has the revenue sharing chart when it comes to any minerals, when it comes to gold, when it comes to diamond, and those are global standards. Yes, those are global standards. We just need to go and ask them, let's see it. And then let's do the math. How much of this of the resources been taken and how much these people paying? And besides that, Liberia is actually 15% shareholder at ArcelorMittal. So it means that puts them on the table. So they will have all the financial records they have, because they are shareholders. So they definitely have all the financial records, and they can ask questions. The government will ask questions, and the government think that the country is being cheated. But I think we should seek more information if we want to participate in these kinds of debate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, talking about the multi-user issue, one of the things I realized is ArcelorMittal has never before rejected the multi-user, to the extent where in 2021, when the ArcelorMittal deal that was negotiated and that was sent to the legislature, I remember Article 3 of that document talks about, the title is multi-user arrangement. Article 3 in the ArcelorMittal deal 2021, multi-user arrangement. So they have never tried to monopolize the rail as the propaganda has been going around. I still got a copy of that old 2021 deal that was not passed. I can forward that to you just for your information. You see, and under that multi-user arrangement is as such that ArcelorMittal, the government of Liberia, and any other new user that will be using the rail will all form what we call the rail committee, the rail management committee. And that committee, whenever a new user wants to use the rail, they will apply to that committee. And the committee then will do an assessment, whatever it is, and then make a determination. But that deal also went further to say, even if the committee decides to reject the new user, the government of Liberia can override the decision because the asset belongs to the government of Liberia. So I just think that most of the time the misinformation is not just in Liberia. I realize all across Africa there's so much misinformation, so it's difficult for people to make more informed decisions because we don't have access. Sometimes we don't have access to the information. So we just follow what other people have said as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mame.
Yes, thank you. I share his opinion partly with how we treat concessions and foreign companies or even our own companies. It's because we make statements that are not backed by what is in those concessions. Sometimes politicians want to get elected, and the easy way to get the people on his side or on her side is to say this company is cheating you. So on that basis, vote for me. When I get there, I will make sure the company deliver for you. That's one side of the story. I know that for a fact. I come from Bomi and Bapolu. I know Bauchico is in Bapolu. People being demanding social development. So I got in the point. I said, send the concession to me. I spent 2 weeks reading the concession. And I got to a point I said, hey, the people should pay social development, but the requirement is we should open an account and inform me of that account. Have we done it? The next question was no, we've not done it. So I know there is that problem, but I also know that there are other problems. Like in the case of China Union, the question is not whether they have lifted O or not. In the concessions, even before you lift O, there are obligations that you agree to. Before you lift the O, there are obligations that you agree to. The question, therefore, is, are you living up to that obligation? We don't reach to the point of lifting O yet. Those pre-lifting obligations, are you living up to them? And if not, why? So in the China Union case, there have been reports where China Union is not living up to the pre-shipment conditions. And they have to be taken to the legislature. So I wanted to put that up. But since you're not here for China Union, I'm making that as a statement. It's a whole broader statement on how they are misinformation. But also, these concession companies have issues that they've not been able to address. So we'll come to ArcelorMittal, and I will ask you this specific question because there are reports that ArcelorMittal should be making some payments to the National Port Authority for the use of Buchanan Port. We've heard that numerous times. Certain point in time, ArcelorMittal consider and begin to make payment. The information is they have stopped making payment. I want you to address that. What is the status? What is the requirement in the concession for payment to Buchanan Port, and how has ArcelorMittal been living up to that commitment?
Mame, I don't know if you can remember, a few years ago, there was a massive financial scandal at the Buchanan Port, where a number of government officials were prosecuted. Some of them fled the country and whatever it is. And it was all around the ArcelorMittal payment.
Correct.
That the company was paying the money, but the money was not being reported. So how do we blame the company for that? No, we can. Let's fix our system. Yeah, that was years back. I think during the last administration, this happened. So let's fix our system. And besides that, I don't see how a company is supposed to be paying for the use of our port, and that company is not making payment, and the government is not. I doubt that. I don't have all the facts. That's why I'm mindful as to how I respond to this. Because I don't want to say something, then later on I find out that it's not true. So that's a reputation issue. But I just remember that crisis a few years ago, and that example tells me that the company has been paying that money, but people, it was a burst. It was a big financial burst. What I'm saying. But I remember today also, the company leaders were in a press briefing at the Ministry of Information, and one journalist asked this particular question, and the response was clear that it's not possible that a company will be operating here and not paying port charges. And in fact, I remember the government relation person of the company challenged the journalist that asked, say, can you bring the facts that show we're not paying?
So I will push back on that, and then I will ask a question. Yes, there was scandal, but the scandal should not stop ArcelorMittal from making payment where they were making. There is a report here from the NPA that outline, and maybe I will send it to put it back up, to pull it up so you see, that outline ArcelorMittal's contribution on land lease for the period 2005 to 2025. There is a table here that shows obligation, and it starts with the volume of iron ore exported from the port. And the analysis is done, and the total amount here is, the total lease is 140,263,200. Operation put due 162,459,000. Regional service charges 6.7. There are other charges that say, okay, for this one we can leave it, but they broke down the obligations and said, as of last month, those were the obligations. They acknowledged that ArcelorMittal paid before. When the confusion came, they decided to put in some controls. Those controls were placed in, and ArcelorMittal was engaged to begin to repay. ArcelorMittal have stopped paying up to today. Maybe that is something you need to think about. Maybe we can address it completely on the show. But yes, the obligations are there. They are even now sending communications that are being sent to remind ArcelorMittal of those obligations. And up to now, the obligations have not been met. My second question to you is concerning, and I want you to speak to it. You work for government, even though pro bono, and you work for ArcelorMittal. Do you see any conflict of interest in your role as a government official, and government has opposition, and ArcelorMittal as a private entity dealing with government? Do you see any conflict of interest? And if not, why you think there will not be a conflict of interest?
Okay, first, good. Number one, the role that we play is an advisory role. That's why I don't even have an office at the Foreign Ministry in the first place. Sure, if our government official, decision-making government official, I will have an office there. I do not. So I provide, my role is an advisory role. I have my company, and the government knew I had my company before I even got the role. We had a conversation. So it is not conflict of interest. If it were conflict of interest, I would not accept the government role. I can tell you that, because the government role is not really paying me anything. So I just want to make that clear. But then going back to the question you were asking about the NPA issue, once anyone doing business, there will always be commercial claims. There will be commercial disagreement. Well, from what you explained, that it's a complete commercial claim. It's a commercial claims that the NPA is making, and those things will come back and through. And sometimes some people will say, "Look, no, I don't owe you this amount. You're saying I owe you this, no," and then they go to court. I don't think those are the reason why we should buy them off an institution, or whatever it is. I think that it matter if they don't want to pay NPA, if they basically denying that they owe NPA that money, let NPA take them to court. It's a commercial issue. Let it discuss it. You know what I'm saying? I'm more concerned about the bigger picture in terms of if Liberia is benefiting from what the company is doing here, or if we are not benefiting anything. That's the one that I'm more concerned about. You see, yeah.
Let me put the ambassador small that I'm very sorry for this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Yes, the big picture, quote unquote. This is not a small picture. I mean, just holding this is 309 million. This is not a small picture. And ArcelorMittal should be concerned about it and not just asking to say quote unquote. Especially so that you begin payment in the past. Since you start payment, I think it was around 2021. Since you start payment 2021, we are in 2025. The fact that you initiated payments were coming, and somebody use it, and they put in place control, and you start paying from 2021 or 22 or whatever the time, 2025. It's a long period of time. I think they should be concerned about it. It's a big picture.
What I'm trying to say, and let me just also make this clear as well. I do not work for ArcelorMittal. My company consult for ArcelorMittal. I don't consult as an individual. I do not work for them. It is my company, and that company is comprised. I just name a few of the people in that company. You know what I'm saying? So it's not my name on the paycheck that ArcelorMittal send. They don't send it to me, be like Shonian. No, they send it to the company. So some of those questions probably should go directly to those that work at the head of the company. But beyond that, I think it's a commercial issue, and I believe that if NPA feels they have a strong case, there are many things they can do. There are many recourse that they can take. They can go to the court. The court can stop ArcelorMittal using the port. Those are minor things, in my opinion. Those are things that can be addressed legally. I think those are things that can shortchange anybody. The court can make a determination if the company refused that this is now liability that they believe that is legally ascribed to them. Yeah.
Thank you, Mambe. Thank you, Mambe. Uncle Sam, let's hear you.
Yeah, Elias, I have a strategy here that I speak to the people of Liberia through a proverbial woman called Mawata. So I'll be speaking to you, but I'll be speaking to my Mawata because my mother was a Basel woman selling lapa and stuff, and she sent me to school. So I just basically would like to just let them know when people speaking big English, I let them break it down for them to understand. Look, Mawata, ArcelorMittal been Liberia my goodness, for I think the first MDA was signed, I believe, in 2004, 2005 or something like that, and Ellen revised it. Ellen went and she fixed it in 2007. Okay. Y'all who old like myself, or some of y'all who younger, who know about Yekepa in Lamco days. ArcelorMittal been a player for almost 20 years. The last time they did any shipment of iron ore out of Liberia, I believe, was $190 to $200 million, right? So let's assume, with back of an envelope calculation, I did a small calculation in the sand. It's almost like a billion two, plus the way ArcelorMittal work, Mawata, they take our iron ore, they sell it to a company that associated with themselves, right? So then they go make steel with it and they make plenty of money from the steel. So the $1 billion what they're making are peanuts. Finished steel is about 4 to 5 times the price of iron ore. Iron ore is probably selling about $95 per ton today. But Mawata, you go to Jegepa, people living in container. People living in container. And then they don't have enough housing for their people. Some people coming from Ganta, they're using buses because some friends of mine have buses that can take them from Sanikole and Danta to take them to Yegepa. So Mawata, the buses is spending $1.4 billion. All the boat people excited. Mawata, they don't get excited, man. I beg you. Because if they've been in this country for 20 years, the people still living in container, right? Then the people in Yekepa looks like an abandoned village, right? Where no significant hospital is and all of that. And then the boat people say, we stupid and we give ArcelorMittal for them to go invest $1.5 billion because they're supposed to be spending to give in taxes. Every promise that ArcelorMittal made since they came that they were going to be shipping iron ore 10 million tons per now. They're not doing it. I think it's only about 5.6 million tons a year that is shipping. I'm talking about my water. Give me 30 more seconds. So, yeah. So they said $200 million in taxes. Okay. So in the MDA, one of my friends and myself are talking today. They say, we get them what they call it, tax incentive. I think it finishes after. Elias will tell me and educate me on that when they will start paying corporate taxes. So if this is the corporate taxes that we're depending on now, what we say that ArcelorMittal will give $200 million next year. Man, we don't know that. So nobody can tell us for true whether they will be paying $200 million next year, because we don't even have a good way to determine the quantity of ore that is being shipped, the quality matched to the world market price to determine what is a fair FOB value for Liberia. FOB means free on board, right? To say the iron ore that is shipping for Liberia, this is the thing. We don't know all of that. So, Mawada, ask yourself this question. For a company that been in Liberia for 20 years, that how the people in Yekipa supposed to be living, that all I want to say, and Elias, you can answer it or you don't answer it at your business, but you're my friend, but this is how I feel from the bottom of my heart. God, thank you very much.
Yes, thanks very much, Sam and Mawata. And I just need you to know also that I have my own Mawata as well. And man,
you got no Mawata, man. You know no Mawata.
I do have my Mawata, and I need you to know that. And see the eyes that that Dr. Richardson is giving when I was talking about Mawata. So, I said from the onset, from the beginning of this presentation, that before my company start doing stuff with ArcelorMittal, first, I'm a Liberian. And for people who know me well, they know I do not joke when it comes to Liberia. So I'm saying this to say that ArcelorMittal started operation in Liberia in 2006. And the first iron ore they ever moved from Liberia, the first iron ore ever, was moved in 2011. So when I hear people saying 20 years they've been moving iron ore, that's false. The first iron ore was 2011. And that was basically around 3 million tons they started moving, 3 million only. Whereby, as I said, Lamco was moving between 15 to 20 million tons. And when they started moving those 3 million tons, what happened 2 years after? Ebola struck. When Ebola struck, about 2 years they could not move anything. And then when Ebola subsided, when Liberia declared Ebola free, at which time now they could resume, and start increasing their tonnage, then the global price for iron ore plunged significantly until it became insensible to even invest in mining ore to take to the global market. So it was only by the end of 2018, going to 2019, that a spike started in iron ore. Right now, the iron ore price is good. It's really good. But that spike started. So it means that they did not move ore during that period. If they were moving, they would probably 1 million ton per annum, or even less, or whatever it is. So they actually really started moving up to 5 million tons now, from around 2019, let's say at the end of 2018, 2019, up to now. Now, one of the things that we also need to talk about is the DSO. Because the DSO tells the value of the iron ore. When Lamco was mining over there, the DSO was the Yekipa mine. The DSO was very high. Yeah, the DSO was high. It was around, I think, someone told me it was around 70-something percent DSO. And the current DSO on that they are mining from Tegade is around 43% DSO, which means that if you sell our ore to the world market, one wagon, let's say 1 ton, if 1 ton is supposed to be like $100, we probably will get around $50 or $60. So that's why they say, you know why? Let us build this plant to beneficiate, to add value on this oil, and when we add value, we make money. Liberia makes money, and that's what they're about to do now. And once they do this plant, then they will start exporting more iron ore because it will make sense now to export more. Then they will start exporting like what Lamco was doing. Then now, let's see all the things that Lamco are doing, if they will not do it after this, when they start exporting the same volume that Lamco used to export. That's why I was very pleased when I heard the executive chairman of ArcelorMittal on the day of the commissioning of the concentrator, when he said that they are going to modernize Yekepa. That's what he said. And then today it was repeated by the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of ArcelorMittal. Today, during the press release at the press briefing at the Information Ministry, a journalist asked that same question about Yekepa. And they said we were not moving much, but we are now about to move much now because we're adding value to Liberia asset. So we are now going to modernize.
So Ambassador. So now they're making the commitment to modernize Yekepa. They're just making the commitment to been here for a minute. I was one of those who went to school in Carhart, and I remember what Yekepa looked like. It was a model city, a beautiful place. It was primarily for two reasons. One, because Lamco made a huge investment in the place. But two, I remember vividly back in that day, there was partnership between local government and Lamco. So Lamco didn't act like a godfather company run by Moravians and they just come and do what they want to do. They actually respected it. I remember the superintendent, they all had clout. They would sit at the table and they would negotiate well for the county. So one of the big criticisms of ArcelorMittal is that they've been there and yes, you're right. The $1.4 billion plan money for a small economy, it can create a multiplier effect. But I wonder, what is what's the word I'm looking for? What is the annual report? Have they shown annual report? Because usually when you make an investment in a country, well, we know how much you invested. You tell people, I put 1.4 billion. How much have they gotten on the investment? Because we made a good point. They're the investor. They're now the Red Cross. You're right. They came to make money. We all settle on that. Okay. But this can be a super win-win for both people, for the company and for the country. What do you know? Because I've never seen the annual report to say, okay, this company put in 1.4 billion over this time, but at the same time, they've made this much. Do you know? Can you share with us? And as somebody who consulted with them and helped them, can you tell us?
We have the Bureau of National Concession, and all of these, not just ArcelorMittal, all of the mineral companies that we have in Liberia that got concession with us, their report go to the Bureau of National Concession, and I know every government wants to get the maximum from any basins that are operating in our country, and I do believe that if they were not giving us our due a share, I'm sure government definitely are going to raise hell with them.
But let me ask you though. I may cut you, Chief. But let me ask you. But do you know what the returns on investment? Have that number been published anywhere, or we got to go to the National Bureau of Concession?
Yeah, the National Bureau of Concession, definitely.
So you don't know that. So
no, I don't have that information. But what I know is that they have been announcing losses for some time now. And when you look at the expenditure, sometimes, and then the small movement of iron ore that they're moving compared to what Lamco and others are moving, it makes sense to you that they can then declare losses. But that's why now I'm saying let's give them the opportunity to now start to move the same quality, the same quantity of iron ore that Bong Mines, Lamco, and others are moving, and let's see what they're going to start saying. And I'm confident they're already saying upfront that, look, we will be moving from $35 million to $200 million. They say that we didn't force them to say that. The government already enforced the government to say that.
Can I just say something quick to you, Captain?
Hold on one second. I'm gonna give you opportunity. So I just wonder, I'm going to ask my panelists now and to all of our listeners, if you know the answer, put it in the chat. I'm really curious. Have anybody seen any figure anywhere where they talk about the return on their investment? I'm just trying to gauge equity and fairness. Anybody ever heard about how much they got? Because it just seemed to me like the figures on both sides should be transparent or open. If you can say you put $1 here, then you should be able to say you take $2. Oh, it's business, it's fair. If
Can I speak to that, Doc, please? Look,
go ahead.
Look, my Leonard colleague there knows about mispricing, transfer pricing, and dealing with an affiliate company which is not arm's length. So the price that ArcelorMittal is selling the ore to its own affiliate, where they're going to make steel. So what they typically do, they will sell it to them at a very low price to show a loss on the books, because he knows that we have 15% equity. And ArcelorMittal has never paid dividend. ArcelorMittal Liberia has never paid dividend to the Republic of Liberia. So technically, for the last 20 years, there have been losses and losses carried forward on their financial books, right? This is a ploy. He's an educated man. He knows that. This is how Western economists, this is how they fool us with mispricing, okay, and not dealing with their own company. They're selling their own to their own company. He knows that. So it's not an arm's length agreement. Arm's length, my book people, it means that in a transaction where it's fair, where it's a fair market price between a willing buyer and a willing seller. So when ArcelorMittal ship the iron ore out, whether they send it to their steel factories in Europe or America, they convert it to steel and they make a huge amount of money. Look at ArcelorMittal annual report. ArcelorMittal is one of the largest steel companies on the globe today. Okay, and they've been in business for a long time, and they're supported by a lot of international countries, like France is a very major supporter of ArcelorMittal because it's a European Union country, right? But Liberia,
let me ask you. In the annual report, does it say anything about the revenue? I mean, I'm sure they talk about revenue stream. Well, what does it have there on the line?
No. See, I haven't looked at the financial statement. Okay, because typically companies will do something called a consolidated financial statement, right, which will represent all of their operations globally. But ArcelorMittal is a stock exchange company, you know, and they have to report to their shareholders, okay, and if they're not improving shareholder values, they will not be in operation. So they're making money.
Right.
So can I come in now, Sam? Sure. I tried to provide information earlier, but I realized you're still running with your initial statement. ArcelorMittal has not been moving iron ore 20 years.
I never said they moved for iron ore for 20 years. I never said that. I said they started operation in 2006. I know when they started. Now let me, since you want to be controversial. Listen to me. I'm nice to you. I'm nice to you again. You lied when you said that China Union has not shipped ore out of Liberia. You lied. That was a black lie. Because I'm all the chat rooms in 2014, China Union shipped ore out of Liberia. I'm trying to be civilized to you because you might be attacking me. Then I have to come and attack you too. You lie.
No fighting.
No, I'm not fighting with me. He the one started the fight. He getting with me. He getting other guys. That's what they do. When I start to talk to Mawata and speak to Mawata for Mawata to understand that chicanery, they start attacking me instead of responding to the issues.
No, Sam, wait a minute. You know,
but just admit that China, you lied when you said China Union has not shipped any ore to Liberia. And it's in the chat room, they shipped ore the first time of 2014. That's a lie.
Correct. Okay, but wait now. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's get Ambassador opportunity.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm a brother. You step up, you step up.
Two things. The first one is this. The moment China unions, when I was saying that they had not shipped ore, I was basically saying that the moment they started shipping ore, Ebola struck and
Okay,
they
look,
never ship
I'm leaving
again.
the show, man. He
They
said
never ship
you
again.
lie, and now you want to come and come and fix. Just
Okay,
say, just say you are wrong.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
say you are wrong.
Okay, so we're not having a dialogue, man. We're not having a dialogue. Let me talk and enjoy the conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You lied. They shipped oil in 2014.
Okay,
Just say you didn't know.
That's enough.
Just say you didn't know.
Okay,
you made a conversation.
You made your point. Okay.
Excuse me. Can I make my point as well?
Go ahead.
Let's enjoy the conversation. When we're talking across each other, then we're not learning from each other. So as I said to you earlier, the essence of the conversation of talking about people shipping oil is that the question as to whether these companies are shortchanging the government of Liberia and the people of Liberia. And China just started shipping oil when Ebola struck. So there is no way that we can think that they were shortchanging us by taking our oil and not giving us what was due us. They shut down, and since that time, they never ship oil again. So my thing is, let's go back to the context. You were saying that ArcelorMittal have been operating 20 years. So let's make it clear that they've been here 20 years, but they only started shipping oil in 2011. And they have not even shipped anything close to what Lamco was shipping or what Bone Mines were shipping. Now, it is now that they are about to pursue that goal, to start to ship more iron ore, and which will mean that we will now have to make more demand that they pay our rightful share in whatever shipment. And they are already saying ahead of time that, look, even though I'm giving you $35 million right now, but I will give you $200 million. I think that's now it's left with our experts. We are shareholder. We got 15% equity share. So we're on the table. So our people will ask those critical questions. That's what government is about. That's why we voted the government because we trust the government and we believe the government will put on the table the necessary expertise that will be able to give us what is due us as a country.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, Ambassador, we appreciate you being here tonight. I want to give my colleagues an opportunity, minus Uncle Sam.
No, I'm picking him. You might say you don't want to get one day soon. I get back to Liberia. I'm my man. I'm a man.
I want us close. The ambassador have to go to bed. I want us to close. So I want to give my colleagues an opportunity, final question or final comment before the ambassador takes his exit. Dr. Richardson.
I have a few comments here that I wrote down while you were speaking, and one of them relate to you working for ArcelorMittal, as you stated here on the program. I'm wondering, how do you maintain your objectivity in terms of lobbying and supporting ArcelorMittal and also speaking in the interest of the Liberian people? How do you do that? That was my first question to you. My second question to you is also, I'm going to piggyback from what somebody else was saying. I was just reviewing some reports of what you've done in our government, and I noticed that there were some fraudulent activities that occurred with Afriland Bank while you worked at the Ministry of, I believe it was the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yes. So can you speak to that? What was your role in these fraudulent activities that some of the newspapers were reporting at that time?
Okay, first, I tell you one thing. My objectivity is unquestioned for people who know me well. In fact, when you talk to the people of Nimba County, they will tell you that, first of all, I should say that I do not work for ArcelorMittal. I should first make that correction. My company is providing consultancy with ArcelorMittal. We have several other persons in the company, including me. And since our company got contracted with ArcelorMittal, the level of engagement between the company and the community has increased significantly. Even the traditional people themselves have been saying that. They've been giving us incredibly great feedback. That since, in fact, when I went to attend the commissioning, the traditional people were also invited. They were all there. In fact, when they met me, they were so happy to meet me, to see me. And in fact, one of them was saying, nowadays, you won't believe the people can come here to ask us to carry lists of our children to go work there. And I was very humble by that our little intervention can make change happen that affect lives on the ground, because that's my concern. Now, The second issue, talking about AfriLand Bank, in 2014, when I was appointed as the Deputy Minister for International Economic Cooperation, there was basically nothing in the office to work with, absolutely nothing. So I worked with partners, particularly the government of Japan at the time, because I had a very deep relationship with them. And the government of Japan agreed to provide $731,000 to the department I was heading at the time, and to provide, because we didn't have egos, we didn't have computers and other kinds of stuff. So when they did that, they decided to give the money in two tranches. They gave the first $300,000 and some more $1,000. We hired a project manager to basically head the management of that fund. And not knowing from the very onset, the project manager started manipulating documents and working. Obviously, what he did, it could have never happened if he didn't have an insider in the bank. Because first of all, the PFM law is clear that you cannot disburse on a government check with a single signature. It's clear in the PFM law. That's why till now I'm still really, even though it's been so many years now, but I'm still thinking that the AfriLand Bank need to pay that money back. They need to pay that money back because they were disbursing money after we requested. Because we later request. In fact, I was acting minister at the time when checks started bouncing on the account, and my attention was drawn to it. I said, no, check cannot be bouncing on that account. Money should still be in it because I love it for the money. I knew what was in it. So when we requested full disclosure, then we found out that we saw the movement of money by this fellow on a single signature, and the bank was honoring that. And we later found out that our banking officer and him had an intimate relationship. They even flew out of the country to Morocco and other places to enjoy. So at the end of the day, the GSC came in, did an investigation, and that report, the investigative report, has been online since 2016, where they listed the movement of money. That is people who signed check and people who money were given to. My name not on any of the list, not at all, not on any, not a single one of those checks you find my name in terms of signing or receiving. So it was an unfortunate situation, I would say. And the reason I would say unfortunate, because there was no effort for us to reclaim that money. And I think the bank should have refunded that money. I still feel that strongly. The bank should have refunded that money. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador Shuning, and thank you for your time tonight. Folks, I want to give you 30 seconds so that we can close. 30 seconds, and the ambassador needs to leave. Want to transition to a couple other very interesting topics. We want to do a little continue with. Go ahead, Councilor. 30 seconds.
So, Elijah, Ambassador, let me ask you.
Yeah, Councilor Good.
What kind of consultancy you have with ArcelorMittal? Is it a PR consultancy or some technical advisory consultancy?
As I indicated earlier, we provide high-level advice to the company on everything besides mining, be it government relation, be it PR, whatever it is besides mining. Yeah.
Okay, because I think you are a very good PR, for ArcelorMittal.
No, I'm not. I just want Liberia to do well.
Man, you give me 10. I'm assessing you've done very well here tonight in projecting ArcelorMittal's operations and own interests. So you're doing well. But what I will say to you here is that while it is true that you said that it is your company that has business dealings with ArcelorMittal, not you as an individual. However, you are serving as chairperson for the government in the advisory position. And you try to distance yourself from the company, but you have performed very well here tonight in terms of projecting what you do for ArcelorMittal. That suggests to me that you play a major role in the management of the company. Like
I'm the
that
managing director, actually.
Aha. So you are managing director for the for the company that does business with ArcelorMittal, and then at the same time, as a private citizen, then at the same time, you hold a government position of trust. Have you made any trip on behalf of the government since you became ambassador? If so, who honor the cost of your travel, your per diem, and everything, since you have not been paid by the government of Liberia?
Yeah, I just indicated earlier that the role we play is on the peripheral. It's not an inside role. In fact, to the extent where I do not go to the ministry, I go there only once a week, actually. And even I don't participate in senior staff meeting. I just want you to know that we on the peripheral is not an inside job we're doing. So we basically, whenever the minister has a need advice on something on foreign affairs, then she call upon us and we provide the advice. And then it's normally we provide advice. It's up to the minister to decide as to whether she's going to take it or not. So it's not a decision role because we advise. That means that the minister are going to run and take that. You see. So as I say, it's on the peripheral. I have my full-time job, and that was all discussed. That I got my full-time job. I would just provide advice whenever you need advice. You contact me or consult with me. I'll provide it, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
All right. So thank you.
The question is not answered. Have you made any trip on behalf of the government of Liberia since you've been in that role?
I just told you that I do not work, as an integral member of the senior management team. So
you have not traveled. So you have not traveled to make representation.
I made no trip on behalf of the government of Liberia. Absolutely not. Yeah,
Okay.
sure. In fact, the only person that made a trip, and he made it, not just him, all others, my colleague, Dr. Toga McIntosh, during our bid for the Security Council seat, he was called upon, not just him, other former foreign ministers were called upon to support. And in supporting, they were funded to travel abroad to represent the president, especially involved, which is allowed, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Do you still hold your diplomatic passport?
I tell you one thing. I was acting foreign minister, for 5 months. I was deputy foreign minister 2 times in 2 different deputy positions, and then became acting foreign minister for 5 months, which means I could have requested for diplomatic passport. But since I resigned from government 2018, I've never requested diplomatic passport. Even now in this role, I never request diplomatic passport because I enjoy my ordinary passport. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ambassador Shilling, to my couple of panelists who I didn't get to. Don't hold it against me. When I see you, I'll treat you for lunch. But we need to let the ambassador go so we can transition and finish up on those 2 exciting topics that we had last night, the court and the other big one with no cow. So, Ambassador, I want to thank you, man, for coming, shedding some light on ArcelorMittal and the UN, our non-permanent seat. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for being up with us tonight.
Okay, so in closing and to leave you all I would like to say is that, when it comes to Liberia and the state our people in, I think for us who God has blessed and given some education, I think it's on our shoulder that whatever we're doing, whatever decision we're making, whatever side we want to take, we have to look at the bigger picture in terms of there might be issues that we have around us. There will always be issues. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture, what does it say? And I think we all as Liberians should be concerned as to how come that $13.8 billion can go to Cote d'Ivoire last year in new investment that provide jobs, that provide opportunity for those people. $408 million went to Sierra Leone, provide jobs and what for our people. And for the last 7 years, one has not come here. Then we need to reflect deeply. Is it because of the way we respond to investors? Is it because of the way we deal with them? Because I tell you, there's a growing negative sentiments against investment in Liberia. Not just ArcelorMittal. Go around the other places. Go to M&G Gold. Go to B Mountain. And if this does not change, our investment profiling will not change. We will continue to start having negative investment because people will start diversity and leaving once they realize that the environment is not investment friendly. We all know investors come to look for profit, and some of them are ruthless. I tell you that. I do agree. However, we should continue to engage, continue to collaborate, and at the end of the day, we negotiate and push what we want as a country and seek our agenda, honestly. Then for us to badmouth and criticize and vilify investment is not good for our country. Thank you very much for having me. And I had such a wonderful time, and thanks for the friendly atmosphere that this conversation, within which the conversation was held. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Good night.
Thank you. How do I get out? I'm trying to.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, folks. So, listen. If you just joined the show, believe it or not, you have about 45 minutes of real talk. There's no talk like spoon talk, and you can still join the conversation for the next 45 minutes. I do want you to know that Senator Azul Penham is going to be on in the future, near future. He's going to do the funeral first for former First Lady, and then he will be our guest. A lot of people interested that want to hear the side of the story, that want him to come on Spoon, the widest network in Liberia. He will be coming. He will be coming. So hold steady. He's coming after the funeral. But let's transition. And I'm glad Mama is on and Councilor Gu is on. The reason I say that because the two topics we're going to talk about, both of them, I consider them to be SME. We'll come talk about the court a little bit. So Councilor Gu can lead us in that direction, give us some insight on what's transpiring, what we can expect. And then tomorrow, and then we'll come back to NorCal, and Mama can talk a little bit. And of course, we're all going to weigh in and enrich the conversation. So let's start with the courts. It's a national story. It's a big deal. Councilor, bring us up to speed. Where are we in the process? Some people say preliminary. The government didn't make a good case. The evidence ain't nothing. Other people say it's only preliminary. Just trying to get to indictment. So help us understand. Help Mount Wata, my bio guy, help them understand what's going on.
Thank you, Dr. Broble. I will just speak broadly, like I always say on this particular matter. Let it be known to the Liberian public that the case does not end tomorrow. Let it be clear, the case doesn't end tomorrow. This is just the warm-up match towards the real case that lies ahead. And what I mean is that if the court rules in favor of the state tomorrow, it does not mean that the defendants are guilty. It only means that there is a reason for them to account for whatever charges laid out in the complaint that will be taken to the grand jury for an indictment. If the court rules in favor of the accused, dropping all the charges, it doesn't mean that they are acquitted. The government still has the chance to go to the grand jury to put before it additional evidence or even the same evidence to convince them to come up with an indictment. So we just wanted to be made clear tomorrow that the case does not end with the judge's ruling. Because first thing, the judge does not have jurisdiction over two of the offenses that are contained in the complaint. One, arson, two, criminal attempt to commit murder. So preliminary examination is meant to draw up and try to see, to preempt, to make the state, the defense will try to make the state to bring some information out that they can to be prepared on how to proceed further. So that's all I will say on this matter tonight. The case does not end tomorrow, so there should be no big celebration, because if the state wins the argument, it does not mean the people are guilty. The state will go upstairs and present its evidence to the grand jury. An indictment will come up. If the grand jury is satisfied, they will come up with an indictment. If the grand jury is not satisfied, they will come up with a bill of ignoramus, meaning that the people will still be outside free.
Okay, all right. That's very helpful, Councilor Gu. Even though I'm not sure what happened there, Councilor, we can't hear you.
Current gone.
That looked like the kind of thing that happened when the chariot comes. It comes to just stick you up, and you just get frozen, cut in time, and go straight to glory. So I hope you're still down here, Councilor. Come back on the show where you get that thing set up. All right. So, folks, I appreciate the Councilor perspective, because what he simply said is, at least to me, that this case is going to trial either way. If the court say, yep, the preliminary evidence good, moving on. If the court says no, the government has the right by law to go straight to a grand jury. The question I was going to ask him, and he's going off now, is then why does the case need to go to this court for the preliminary service going to grand jury? But I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. I want to get the answer. All right, but let's move around the room quickly before we transition. Dr. Richardson, any new insight, anything you want to say about what was happening here with the court before you leave? Just yeah.
Yeah, quickly, I'll just say that it is in the hands of the court now. The case is in the hands of the court. I will reserve comments, but I also want Liberians to keep their eye on auditing the legislature. For me, it doesn't matter if it's something that is initiated by the executive or the judicial branch or the legislature themselves. It's just an institution that needs to be audited. The Liberian people need to know where the money is going and how can the money work in their interest. So thank you so much. It was a wonderful show. Thank you for your moderating.
Thank you, Doc. Have a good evening. Fubi, let's hear you.
Yeah, so the case, like I keep saying, that at above voice, we have the legal matter which is in the court, and we also have the code of public opinion. And so which we are part of outside, and we're trying to also give some meaning, and there are different sides, the pro-COFA side and the pro-government side, or those that just want to be objective and just wanting to know. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier on, sometimes that everyone is interested in knowing who burned down, or who all burned down the Capitol building, or who are part of it. So that's something that everybody wants to know. Even those that on the COFA side, the accused side, they are also interested in knowing who actually were involved in, who are actually involved in burning down the Capitol. And so there are different. Yesterday we were weighing in on the types of evidences that were being produced. Everybody was like complaining and criticizing, especially those on us. Oh, the evidences are weak. Oh, these are AI generated. Or you can go take people posts from Facebook and use them. You can say open source discussion and all the blah blah blah. But one thing today that was confirmed by Yeke Koluba, that the conversation is not an AI conversation. It was actual conversation that took place. And he alleging that it was two NSA operatives that leaked the information to NSA because they were in the vehicle when the conversation took place. So that's for the code of public opinion, so that the people now, everybody outside now should know that this audio that we've long been talking about It's not an AI audio. It's an actual conversation. Whether it has something to do with the burning of the capital, whether it has something to do with providing security for them, that's a different discussion. But the first thing first we established is not an AI generated audio. It's an audio that was collected from an actual conversation that took place between Abu Kamara and former Speaker Kofa. So that's something that is clear. So everybody has to know that. So the difference, the legal part, they will deal with that. How they obtain it, all those different legalities that they pass around. But my point is, I just want the public to understand that this is an authentic audio that was recorded, and it has something. And the security had a way. They have a way of trying to link the different connections. So if they feel that whatever was said, because it was not explicitly stated in the audio that let's go and burn the capital, but if they think that it has something to do with it because of all the different events, that series of events that took place, at the same time, and at the end of the day, we saw the Capitol building being burned down. So they think that is a probable source of that. So they fair. So that's why I said, let's give the security, let's give I don't doubt the police. I said it before, and since Glennie got vexed, and other people were getting vexed, I don't doubt the police. At the same time, I didn't say that those accused are guilty. Until the court can find them guilty, they are not guilty. So we have to give them the chance to go to the court. And like I said also, you say you're not guilty, the best way to prove it is in the courtroom. Don't be fighting to dismiss the case. Go to the courtroom, listen to it, and when you are free from there,
that's the legal entitlement, though.
I know.
I feel like I'm not guilty. I don't want to waste my time and money. First thing I do, I ask the judge to dismiss this case and let's move on. So that is the legal right and prerogative. But you make a good point. The court is where we decide this thing, and people are always innocent until proven guilty. That's the law, and everybody have that right. So, Mommy, what says you? We're talking the court. Uncle Sam came back the right time. We're talking about the case.
Yeah. I wanted somebody in the background to play the video, because he's raising a very good point.
Oh, the video about Yeke?
Yeah, about the
we have that video.
Yeah, I sent it to Kude has the video, but the point I will be stressing why they play the video is when the time the Kofa was fighting with his colleagues, public sentiments, Facebook, bloggers, talk show hosts, panelists, they were very helpful. They would have been very helpful in gaining public opinion and sentiments on your behalf. He was successful in that. The case is now in court. I think he should change his strategy. But they still stuck in the strategy of how they can use bloggers, social media people, panelists, radio shows to spin evidence, to discredit the process, to discredit evidence. I think it doesn't help. What helps better is how you prepare a strong legal defense team to engage in court. Everything they've been doing is just trying to dismiss evidence on social media. One day they will say, oh, it's AR, pay people all around to call it AR. Another day they will call it fake. Another day the speaker himself says it's a political case. And every time you do that, the case not going nowhere. The first day after the hearing, they were all around, they will close the case. The after tomorrow, not going nowhere. As also social media evidence. It doesn't help. In as much as we cannot say you're guilty, but all those strategies will not necessarily help you. So let's play the video that everybody was saying, the AR video, but now is admitting because they are getting intelligent information that this is not the only recording. And if you listen to Yeke, even showing we went to the other place, we went to the other place, we went to the other place, because the police director said they used the phone number to track their location and do geopositioning. So gradually people are confessing and saying things. But yes, they say It is not, it was all their activity were not around Bonnie. That I cannot claim it was around Bonnie. But let the public be the judge. Good day, if they play the video. Let's
That's different plan. I'm looking for you for her to conclude it. That one on the phone. I know that WhatsApp is saved, but tomorrow one. Okay, well, if I will call you. Tomorrow one, do something happen to that plan. Alright. And the people, I got my actors with me. We've been rolling around, so I told you we're around. Me and Debbie and some other people. I am to the president, please. I'll call you. I told you that, man, I'm president.
Good. That's the conversation. We want to go and do something big to that place. We have our actors in the car.
Before I forget,
whether the something big was to burn or not to burn, but the public listening to Abu and the former speaker know that they were planning to do something big. That something big was not a good thing, because if it was a good thing, you wouldn't say we can talk it on the phone. You wouldn't have actors in the car. Whatever that thing is, I don't know. Please play your case confirmation.
Before I forget, you know there's a recording going around where there was a voice that was saying, "Oh, mommy, I'm calling your phone, you're not picking up." I remember during the saga, when the majority of people were bringing people, we were putting people together in our defense. And this recalling, like I said today from the court, the recalling was given to the police by General Garra and Oforidia. This recalling was given to the police by General Garra and Oforidia. I remember when the call was made, because we used to talk. I used to go to Rambo DB place, so Matadi, when you go around where you got a hand pump, the eyes they put will tell you, yes, I used to be there. I used to go to Abu place. When the public where people were facing his place, they used to see me, I park my car, I go to Abu place, upstairs, so he would talk. We were strategizing. We were trying to plan on how we can stop the people from behaving the way they are behaving and protect ourselves. So I remember that night, I made a call from Abu Kamara. After I saw Ombo DB call coming. When Ombo DB call, at that time, I was awake. And pick up the call. He asked me, I said, to my apartment to 19th Street. If you ever listen to that recording, when they came to me, I came downstairs behind the place. In the car that Abu was riding. When I got down to the car, Oforidia came down from that car and Garra came down from the car. When I saw the people along with that came in the car with Abu, now you kept hearing the voice of Abu. I told him I don't trust these people. Oh, my man, people say, Koga bringing people from Nimba, so they want to help us, to protect us. I said, then we can discuss here. We have to go to my base, which is this base. We came that night, we sat down in front of the store. And I kept insisting that I can't work with people that NSA people. Oforidia and General Garra. I kept insisting that these people are NSA people. I cannot work with these people. But DB say people, they are my country people. I say I don't trust people. So from that point, I knew that something was going on, that they were up for setup. And luckily for us, we're not discussing nothing different. How we can protect ourselves, how we can resist if those people come to attack us, to protect ourselves. But every time we were talking, I was always giving them distance.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay.
They can say
So
all the conversation they had was to protect themselves. It was not intended to go and burn the place. That determination will be made in court, whether they burn it or not. But it was good for the public to know they had planned to do something big, whatever that plan was, whatever that big was. No one can determine besides the court. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Let's hear you. We still
Look,
talking.
I look at this thing like a Shakespearean comedy of errors, but it's also what the book people will call a tragic comedy. Let's look at the beginning of this thing here. Where did it start from? That's all you have to do. Where did it start from? It started from the subterfuge. The subterfuge, what it means, the trickery that was used by Joseph Boyka, President Boyka, to invite Fonati to meet the Pope, to meet the Pope, not to meet some gangster or something, but the Pope. They're supposed to be the Holy Father. And while Fonati is kneeling to kiss the ring of the Holy Father, they are what? They are unhatching. They're doing a plan to remove him. That's how the whole thing started. LeBron never forget this thing here. That President Boyka invited Fonati to see the Pope, and while he was kissing the ring of the Pope, his boss then were in the capital orchestrating this seditious, treasonous, illegal, and unpatriotic act. The Constitution says 33 and 49 how to remove the speaker.
Uncle Sam. Fast
No.
forward.
I want to see the thing is. I want to the Liberia people. I will come to it. I got my 2 minutes.
No, but listen now, Uncle Sam. The Liberian people now here, I want plenty. We got the history. We got it. We in the court now, so I beg you come to the courthouse. Let's talk about our own.
When they go to the courthouse, they go to the courthouse. The smart lawyer will bring the Liberian people mind to the Pope. And
okay, but
lawyer.
Let the smart lawyer do that one.
No, but I won't take my water here straight back to where the thing happened.
Lawyers will do that. I beg you.
Okay, so they in court now, right? So they're supposed to the evidence they have, my water, and I'm not a lawyer, even though I have 3 daughters who are lawyers. I'm married to a lawyer. But the lawyers, they have something called evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. And what our evidence with beyond a reasonable doubt is that the evidence will be so clear, there will not be no guessing. The recording, there's an Amber Alert in my area, I'm sorry. Amber Alert, okay. I'm going to turn my phone off. So, the evidence must be so clear. When I said to Kofa that we got something to do, we can talk it. They must say, Abu must be seen to Kofa. I got some guys there in my car there. They would take gasoline to go burn the capital. They said they had containers. You mean the Liberian National Police doesn't have the ability on the containers there to lift fingerprints? Counselor, you educate me. You mean they don't have the ability to lift fingerprints from containers that people don't have a container? You have to use your thumb on it. You have to use your fingers on it. You mean they don't have the fingerprints of the perpetrators, the people that did the burning on the containers there? The government own report said the container was where? I think something about at the door, and the other people say the container was inside. So my people, clearly, this is not a case where the government has all the evidence to put a former speaker of Liberia to put him in jail. So the court, you know, that counselor, and you can please correct me on this. I know that in cases they get something called jury qualification, where the jury brings a verdict and the judge can say no, the evidence doesn't prove or whatever. But guess what? The judge must be nationalistic and patriotic to say this is not the kind of evidence that you convict a speaker and put him behind bars. This information, this evidence is not strong enough. That's
okay. Thank you, Uncle Sam.
you want to go to court?
Thank you, Uncle Sam.
Show you that Fonati and his associates, they will mount a strong defense to prove, to approve, not because it is the state responsibility to prove innocence, but they will mount a strong defense to attack the credibility of the evidence that the court has presented. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uncle Sam. Fubi, real quick.
Yeah, so I enjoy the way you call yourself back to order, because we keep going back to the Pope Day, and we all want to drag it. But at the end of the day, it's important for us to know that once the case gets in court, the judge, the jurors, or whatever trial they try to have a bench trial, the judge will decide, or decide to have a juror trial, the juror will decide the substance of the evidences provided, and they will give their ruling. But we are more interested also in the public opinion, because like I told them, look, this case determines a political government is political. So definitely, and you have key political actors being involved. So definitely, it's not a spiritual case. So we're going to deal with it politically. So as they try to shape the narrative outside, we ourselves will also be here to help to give a balance so that it doesn't weigh one side, because the propaganda game I've always played, and that's what they have been depending on. I mean, with all the previous cycle before you get into the court. So you cannot decide who can be charged. If the police think that you are linked to a crime, the police has the right to charge you. So it's not because you too much speak up, so you cannot be charged and put in jail. So whatever strategy the police decide to use to put you in jail, all we say at the end of the day, once you get to court, look, you are all innocent. There are other guys that also were held down for the same stuff. They went through pre-trial, and the court have the judge ruled. So this case definitely with the pre-trial, the judge also going to rule in favor of the prosecution. And at the end of the day, let's go to the full trial, and let's see all the weight of the evidence is. And we can't be outside here crying that this evidence does not have weight, is not admissible in court. Oh, the other one is very weak. No, that's not our job to decide that. Because the first one even said that, oh, you can't use social media, the judge allowed social media. Oh, you can't use the recording, the judge allowed the recording. So all our analysis outside, those that have the pro-COFA group, all the things that you condemn, the judge allowed and say, look, this can be used as evidence to go to full trial. So we can make all our analysis to shift. By the end of the day, it is the court files that are going to decide that case at that level. So for the public opinion, we'll also be here to balance it and to shift it. So if you guys take it left, we'll bring it back to the right, so that we get the public to understand that this is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Fubi. So
says yeah.
Okay, so Mame is back, so we're going to shift to Nocal. But before we do that, I do want to ask Councilor Gu a question. He got on. I know you heard my question. He got on, Councilor. But I'm saying it seems like the kids is going to trial anyway. If the lower court grant them forward march, they're going. If the lower court doesn't say that, they can go straight to the grand jury. My question to you is for my edification and for hopefully for the public who may be interested. Why then go to this first preliminary? Is that just the process? You can't just go to a grand jury. You got to go first to the court, and if they say no, then you go up to the grand jury. How does that work? Unmute yourself.
It's the right of the defendants to request it. They got a strategy. You know, I have not been a defense counsel before. I only been a prosecutor all along. So I don't know which strategy. If I become a defense counsel, then I will learn the strategy. And, you know, behind wanting to call for preliminary examination, even though the case will go to the grand jury anyway.
Oh, so you're saying it was the
sometimes,
defense that made that call? You're saying it was defense?
yes, the
that made
defense. Yeah, it's a right. It's a right available to the defense, and it's
Okay.
actually meant. So I know from our practice, why it's not defense counsel, right? But for our practice, we were being involved with preliminary examination. It's meant for to give the defense an idea,
to be
right? Of
familiarization with evidence.
yeah,
What
of
you got?
what some of the yeah. So that's it. But they like I said, and I always say this thing: we should not be discussing the merits. I see Mame pull up video. That's the merit we're going into. It's not good for the case. It's better for us. We can discuss what people are saying for us. We don't necessarily have to, we can talk about it generally in terms of evidence, in terms of this and doing that. But to go to the evidence that's been used, pull it out, and be discussing, because we discuss the merits of the case, it will injure the case. On both sides. Because you have jurors. You have jurors listening. They will be selected. Maybe, if they have a jury trial. So some of the things that we say, right, can shift people's opinion to doing what is right, and sometimes to doing what is wrong. So that's why under our jurisprudence, it is advisable during the court, we are lawyers, not to discuss the merits of the case while the case is before the court. So that's why I have always ask, and people will say, "Oh, get it right." I say, "Yeah, I know you have the right, but I just asking you to just pause that right small, just relax it, and let the court go, let the process goes on. The evidence, the pieces of evidence the state has, they will produce it. The defense that the defendant has, they will go and pull it forward, and then the court will decide. At the end of the day, we can now discuss the evidence and say, this one, we told you this, we said this one, we had this opinion, and that was it. So that's my plea. Let us not go into the merits. And that's what I said. Whether the state wins, gets the motion tomorrow or not, the case is still going to go to the grand jury anyway. I believe the state will ask for a special grand jury to ensure that the indictment is drawn before the next term of court, so that it can be placed on the docket of the next term of court for trial. And the next term of court is August term, second working Monday, will be the next term of court that that will be available for the case to go on trial, except where if the indictment comes up before then, the defense asks for motion to advance the case on the docket. And, the next term of court will be the time that they will be tried if the indictment comes up on a special grand jury. If it doesn't come up on a special grand jury, it will come up on the sitting grand jury of the August term of court, which would then primarily push it to November term for trial by the normal process, except the defense can ask for motion to advance it on the docket of the August term of court for it to be tried during that term. That's the procedure.
Okay, thank you, Councilor, for enlightening us and clarifying that. We appreciate it. Folks, we have only 13 minutes and we have to go. It's a hard stop. We got to go. So, Mame, let's close on NorCal. Let's close on NorCal. Last night we talked about it. I think it was last night. Yeah, last night. And you threw some insight. So, in the prior conversation with Shunain, asked about annual report. Because annual report give us a sense. And NorCal is one of the companies where I think a lot of promise and potential, but I don't think the Liberian will see much. For one thing, the salaries are always very high. And so has there been an annual report, and what does it look like? What does the profit loss statement look like for the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? I
mean, I don't have the details on the finances.
But is it available somewhere, like the annual report on the website somewhere? They're available?
I've not searched for one. I've not searched for one to know if it is available. But we can search for it maybe tomorrow. The topic is a ruling topic. I mean, we don't have any new information as of yesterday. It still remains the same. The executive allocation The government wants to proceed with that. We believe, like always, it is a problematic provision. In other countries, and when the debate goes on, we show in other countries, most of the time, when they're making decision to give executive allocation because they know it's problematic, they give it to the oil company for blacks that are not competitive, black that in the oil they call it frontier blacks, black that don't have high potential. Companies are not interested in them. Sometimes for security reasons, like onshore, like in places like Nigeria where there's onshore, maybe the black is around a military barrack or around specific area for national security purpose. The government say we can bring foreigner here to work on it. So we'll keep that one and give it to the state. Only the state can play with that for security reasons and other things. Because that's your asset. You want to give it to the best bidder. Even though you're talking about the country, oh yeah, I'm the country. You want to give it to the best bidder for one fundamental reason. The fundamental reason, especially for Liberia, you want to give it to a company that has the capacity to drill and help you to find oil. You want to give it to a company to help you drill and find oil. So on that basis, you look for the company that can help you to find oil, like a proven track record and capacity of drilling. You don't just want to give it to a company who just say, okay, I will give you this money, I will give you this. At this stage in the oil program, since 2005 to now, it's not just about money now. You want to make discovery. Because when you make discovery, that $5-10 million they're giving you, you'll be making over $300-400 billions of dollars. The only way you can make that billions of dollars until you get a company that can drill. And that should be the priority. Let's be looking for company that get the capacity to drill, not necessarily a company who just want to hold the block and look for somebody and flip it to them and make some money and walk away. But new information has not emerged. We don't know where it stands now. We hear the legislature say they will engage the president may engage the legislature. Up to this point, we don't have new information, but definitely there will be new information going forward.
Okay. Thank you, Mommy. Anybody want to chime in? We're closing.
I just want to do my closing and go. I have an emergency.
Okay.
And I will speak on the ArcelorMittal issue. ArcelorMittal, the market capitalization of the company, how much is worth, right? Market cap is about $24 to $25 billion. You listen to me, all Liberian people. $25 billion. But guess what? In 2025, their revenue was $5.25 trillion United States dollars. And the value of the shares have been going up because the price of iron ore has been rising. We need investors. We need lots of investors. But the nature of ArcelorMittal's project in Liberia, low-cost mining, where their capital costs are minimized, meaning they don't put a lot of money into amenities for their workers. They don't do hospitals. They don't build houses for their workers, livable houses for the workers. They don't do a good social responsibility. And ArcelorMittal is not helping the Liberian economy by buying goods and services from Liberian businesses. It's called a linkage, a local content. And Mami will know this better than me. Mami, you know about local content. What is the nature of the local content?
I'm saying.
I'm finishing.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, but wait a minute. I'm saying you made a good point, but I want to ask you, and I agree with you. But you don't think that the reason that they do that is because we let them? I think the same company operating in Kenya or the same company in Ghana, it will be a little different. People will do what you let them. And, business people, they want maximize profit, minimize cost. So they come to the country, they offer $1 by jumping. They'll not offer $1.25. They will stay with a $1.
Companies with good corporate governance, are required by international convention like UNCTAD to have, first of all, a sense of social responsibility, sustainability, providing jobs, skills transfer, the idea of reason why we give them tax concessions so they can hire our nationals at technical and high management levels, and also to provide and to sell goods and to buy goods and services from Liberian businesses in Yekepa, in Buchanan, and Monrovia. But they're buying vegetables, they're buying all these things. Their catering company is a foreign company. 99% of the technical staff comes from out of South Africa. I know that because I'm connected to that country. Okay? They are not building houses. Adequate housing. Look at the housing topology that the ArcelorMittal has there in Yekepa. It's not even good for animals to live in.
Okay.
So it depends upon. So if it's a good company, the company, nobody begged Lamco and Bong Mines to go build clubhouses, to go build swimming pool, to do all those big things they did when they came in. It is because the Europeans, the Scandinavians, and the Americans have a good sense of social responsibility. Unfortunately, the Indians, the people who involved in the low-cost mining, they have a narrow worldview of amenities. Okay, they're not even Spartan. They are parsimonious. Parsimonious means they are very mean people. On that note, let God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys so much. Hey, by the way, Dr. Brooklyn, you did an excellent job in steering the ship, and you did a great job. God bless you and love all of you. Take care, guys.
Good night. Good night. All right, Counselor, let's hear you. We're closing. We only have 4 minutes, so I'll make Mommy last. Let's hear Counselor and then Fubi and then Mommy. We're closing. Your final thoughts. Unmute yourself, Counselor. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Okay, yeah. So we talk from Shoyine. Ambassador Shoyine is a very good talker, and I think he performed well on the PR side for ArcelorMittal, except that he didn't push much for Liberia. Still hold an issue with him when he talked about people who are asking to hold on the signing of the concession until ArcelorMittal can develop Yekepa and do some major work there, or make some real commitment. To be naive, he made those statements, and I think it was not right, because I know some of our viewers were even asking whether Lamco during those days waited for them to get in operation first to start making profit before they build Yekepa. I mean, the way Yekepa was built, Bond Mine, whether they waited to to export iron ore before they did all of those developments. So we don't know why ArcelorMittal will be hanging around and thinking that you must make profit before you do certain major things for the people. And on the case, I think I will still appeal to us. I know some people think that it is about, I don't know what they're thinking about also. But generally, we as legal practitioners, I told by the Supreme Court's opinion that we don't discuss the merits of the case while it is in court. And if I'm on a platform and it's being discussed, my duty is to inform my fellow panelists about that, or duty we have. So they can choose to listen to me or not. So I just take as an appeal. That's why every time I talk about the case, I talk about general issue of evidence, general issues of law. You don't talk about the specifics. So I hope that we wait. This case, whether you win tomorrow, you lose tomorrow, the case is not over. But just the first day of the one more match here, the friendly match. The real tournament coming. It will come,
when the grand jury have received the evidence and have come up with an indictment. It could be this term of court, it could be the next term of court, it could be the November term of court. But definitely, I'm sure that they're still going to present evidence to the grand jury, and they're still going to get an indictment, and they will proceed for trial. Let's see what comes after that. We all want to know who destroyed the Capitol building if the evidence are there to establish that people did do it. Let them be punished. Nobody will support anybody to do wrong, especially at that level. That kind of wrong is not something that you can allow to go easily. So we support whatever is being done to find the culprit of what happened at the Capitol building. If they got the wrong people, the court will decide. The investigation will continue. We'll find the right people.
Correct.
So let us wait until the court can decide. So
thank you, Councillor.
Time. Thank you, Phoebe. Maybe you got to come back to Liberia so we can. But myself can going back to Liberia soon. So you come back to Liberia so we can join the struggle.
You there? Yeah. They telling man, come back soon.
So I tell you now, because I'm getting ready to go back. So let him, get ready to pack a bag and
when you get your coin from your
I know he joined the young. I know he joined the junta. Yeah, but come home. Yeah, we'll join. Mami, thank you for the time. Dr. Bobler, you did well tonight. It was excellent. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you. Tomorrow we shall see you again.
Thank you.
Man, it's a serious government, yeah, and I'm joking. So don't call them junta. A serious government with serious developmental agenda. Serious developmental agenda. I think that I'm moving the country from one point to another.
If I say you need to stay over there, if I say no, I think my man said stay there before you bring your junta. You will stay there.
So you're American people. 8 o'clock one day, I got light everywhere. I hear it 12 midnight. You close the show too.
Yeah, that close the show.
Yeah, so quickly on the ArcelorMittal stuff. No, the 15% equity is a good thing for in a country. But if the company will keep reporting losses year after year for 20 years, you report loss every year, then it's a useless deal. So we need to rethink and look at the whole management structure, how to sell their what mechanism they're using to sell it, and government need to actually monitor that better. Then to consider a good point on the case. Look, this is a political case. We all said it every point. The defense propagandists are out there discussing the merit of the case. We will not sit here and say we can play well. If they discuss it, we discuss it. So we'll balance it out. Anytime they shape the narrative left, we'll bring it back to the right. So the public will know. The legal party will deal with it in the court. In the public will deal with it in the public to see where they bring it. So thank you.
Let me. I will follow that scene. I will follow that same trend. It was Councillor Kofa who said they don't have keys. The evidence they got it from social media. He's the one discussing evidence. The AR evidence. He's the one calling the AR evidence. Every time they go to the court, they ask him to go PP fast. So he tried to make comedy out of the case. He tried to play with the evidence and the strength of the case. He's doing that. And we sit down on the other side, we say, no, a property got destroyed. A national asset got destroyed. The seat of our democracy was attacked. We listen to people on the interview saying, we want to go do big things there tomorrow. We don't know whether that big thing are burning or not. I am not saying it was burning, but I know it was not a good thing. I know it was not a good thing. You cannot be talking to go do good thing, and you say, we're going to talk on the phone. You can't be talking about protecting yourself and be saying you can't talk on the phone. I will be comfortable to say that already and that a problem of Fubi, my man, we got people here to help us to protect us. I will be happy to say that. So the fact that you can say it means it was not good. But I'm not clearly saying it was burning the place. I'm saying it was not a good thing. The court is investigating. The court will determine what that thing was. So we are not the one bringing about evidence discussion up. It is the Councillor Kofa who keeps saying it's AR who kept saying it's Facebook until Yeke, who was one of the persons on the recording, admitted that yes, we had a conversation. I told them to drive to my house. We moved to this place. And as we're hearing, there will be more recordings and more confession. Whether they will be sufficient enough to convict, that is not in my place to say. It's in the court's decision, but we will discuss it.
Thank you, Mame. And Fubi, Mame, all our panelists. Thank you for a great show tonight to the audience, your engagement. Thank you watching, listening, chiming in. I want to thank Yekazi and the team here at the studio. You do an awesome job. Thank you for making Spoon what it is and shall become. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we'll be in the same place at the same time. And, remember, our CEO tonight is a little under the weather. I talk for the American people. I'm talking for under the weather, for Mapu and Mayanoe. He's not all right. He's sick small. So, but he will be okay. So, CEO, we appreciate you and continue to get well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from Spoon Talk. Tomorrow, same time, same place. Join us. Be part of the conversation that can lead to a solution for our nation. God bless you all. Yakazi, take it on.
Thank you. Hey, Yakazi, long time, man. We gotta talk.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks, as I said, join us tomorrow for another edition of the Spoon Talk. My name is Yekazi Zoba. I've been sitting here as your producer. Bye-bye.